Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I was like, yay.
We're starting out with a bang.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the shit show tonight.
Hi.
Welcome to a live chat with Kara C and Audra at home. We're going to be talking about multi-level marketing schemes and why they are a cult. But we kind of started with something random that I have no idea what Audra's talking about.
Yeah, I'm not
Before
sure.
I let her explain what's going on, please check out Kara and Audra in the description box. They're all linked up. Their Patreon, their CashApp, their channel, their Instagram. And if you're watching the replay, open up the live chat because we are a debaucherous bunch of people. And the live chat is usually as entertaining or more entertaining than we are.
Oh, yeah.
At least me.
The live chat's where it goes down.
Yeah. Now, Audra, continue to explain what the hell happened.
Who were you talking about?
All right, so I've been watching Dear White People on Netflix, all right? And this chick, every time a dude puts his mouth on her taco, she always looks extraordinarily bored while smoking a joint. And like, while he's it doesn't matter. She's just always sitting there like this.
She just hasn't met the right guy.
I'm like, all right, girl.
Yeah. Sorry, Nate, I have 0 time management skills today. So... Gotta be doing my makeup here.
Man.
I woke up at 2:30 in the morning, went back to sleep at 9:30 in the morning, so my whole day's been effed up.
That is fair.
That's very fair.
Yes. Welcome to the gutter. Our hearts are pure, our minds are filthy. That's our new motto.
I love it.
We need to make our banner say that.
I love that.
I am so sorry. I think my phone is still buzzing.
There's already 30 of y'all in here. Welcome.
What are y'all doing here? Y'all don't have something to do? No, I'm just kidding. I'm happy to be.
Audra's like in a special mood tonight. I don't even know why, but just she's in her prime.
Because she was in a video of Robert Welch's yesterday.
Yes.
Thank you, Gary.
If you haven't seen it, yesterday, Robert's Ghost Stories and Makeup, Audra is featured in the second half of the video, telling a fucking amazing story. Her look is the one that I happen to use in today's thumbnail, so go check it out.
Debaucherous children of the Lord. I love it. I love it.
I threw on my
Bethany,
old lady glasses.
We're not even late. We just started like 2 minutes ago. We are late.
Hey, Helen.
Yes,
ooh,
welcome Yolanda and Mo and Chris and Nate and Eeyore, Emily Original, and Rachel Joy. I saw T here a little earlier talking to DBD. If you don't know who that is Barry.
That's my husband. I'm a lucky woman.
Hey, T.
Yes.
I had to stop watching you to be here, so.
I would agree. I would listen to Audra's Scary Stories audiobook. Yeah, she's at about the 16-minute mark. I time-stamped it. Take your time. There's no spoiling. It's a good story, though.
I went into actual hiding. I'm still in hiding, actually. I'm currently in hiding. I am hiding on Emily's channel.
For the witness protection program.
I am. I'm just going to be like hiding on Emily and Kara's channels moving forward. All comments shall be directed to them.
Rachel Joy, that would be big eggplant berry. You know what eggplant means.
My husband got very drunk in last week's and disclosed probably a little bit too, well, I shouldn't do this. Probably a little bit too much information.
Oh, wow. It's my fault, though, because I'm the one who sent the lewd pictures.
It's always your fault.
How? Wait, first of all, he did not have to be up over your shoulder looking at the junk that I sent. Like, I was for those of you who don't know, I had a carrot pic sent. It was a series of carrot pics. And I sent it to my friends. Why wouldn't I send it to my friends?
Somebody sends a dick pic, you have every right to forward it to whoever you want.
Yep.
Listen, I didn't ask for it. I didn't.
You're fucking silly.
Somebody asked
I
me
did not ask for those carrots. I didn't
Don't
ask
make me
for
pull
it.
the fucking screenshot.
It's the Pat McGrath concealer, whoever asked. I think it was Danica. It's the Pat McGrath concealer.
Sorry about that.
Sorry.
Oh, yeah. I have that one on my wish list for future buying.
I'm liking it.
I know. I do want to try it.
I like it.
It looks.
A whole basket of carrots.
If you tell me that I look awful, please don't. Just stop right now.
I wasn't going to tell you. When have I ever told you you look awful? Do I not shower you with beauty praise every motherfucking
But you
day
were like,
of
it
your
looks.
life?
And then you stopped yourself.
I think it was the light. It just looked kind of dry. Like, not you, the concealer looks dry. But I've seen that on several people where it kind of looks like it's dry. But it doesn't mean it is dry. It's just because I'm an oily bitch. So, like, everything that doesn't, if it doesn't look like it's like seeping through your pores, I'm like, it's dry.
No, it's pretty good. It is pretty good.
Oh, that's true. It was her birthday when that happened. You get a birthday pass.
See, vision of you is always there.
I like it. I like that you guys.
They might be wonderful for you, but not for everyone, Tiffany. Let's just say unsolicited eggplant pics are wonderful. I get a great laugh. I gave some pointers on ways to respond with torment if you want in that live chat.
The reason that this particular, every time I get these, it's without fail. Anytime that I have found someone that I truly care about and like being and spending time with, and then it's just unsolicited dick pics, and I'm like, oh,
it's like
okay,
they have radar. I love Barry. I'm pretty sure Audra has a bit of a crush on you. I'd be okay with that.
I know. There's a subscriber that's new to my channel, and what she said, she sent me a message, and she said, "Hey, fellow OAB here," and it took me a second, and she was like, "I was like, oh, old ass bitch, I love this lady."
Well, I was thinking because of her conversation, I'm like, oily ass bitch, but I guess old ass.
I thought oily too. I didn't think old.
I love that. I was like, yeah. Not you.
Anyway,
I've got problems.
All right.
Yeah, I'm so sorry.
It depends on if their face is in the picture though, because Audra's there was face.
Yeah, there was a whole body. There was an entire body.
A whole body.
It was
on a rock.
It was a whole ass trunk.
It's a whole aesthetic going on.
It really was. He said it with like out to get some tanning.
It can be. Don't hope for it. Don't hope for it. I mean, if you really like dick pics, enjoy. But nah, they're not. No.
Here's the thing. It's fine if you ask. You know what I mean? If you're like, hey, if I ask my man, like, hey, send me your manhood. Send me a picture of your carrots at full attention.
He was proud.
Thorne
was proud. Thorne said if the face is in it, you know they're proud.
He was proud.
It was a full-on flex, no pun intended.
Welcome, Ruthie.
It really was in more ways than one, and you should have just intended the pun.
Yeah, your pun was spot on. Just keep it.
Hey, Ruthie.
Okay. So outside of eggplant photos, some people like.
Well, we're far apart.
I'm in that camp. Yeah. If it was a distance thing, sure.
But you're not far apart. Yeah, exactly.
I live with my eggplant, with my husband attached to it.
I mean, like, I'll send, like I send my man some. I send him some. Like, that way he doesn't. So that way he doesn't end up with New York Sarah. So listen, I had a dream.
New York Sarah.
New York Sarah. Yeah, there's an imaginary woman who's from New York, and she's there with New York, and her name is Sarah. She's super fucking woke with colored hair, nose ring, and she's like very, she's very liberal, knows like fucking everything, and like knows my history better than I do, and it's like humiliating, and I hate her. She doesn't exist. But like, every time he's gone, I'm like convinced
thing in your brain that created New York Sarah, not fuck your Sarah. Fuck the thing in your brain
back to Texas. Don't tell me he's moving back for his parents. He's moving back for you, my friend.
Exactly.
That is not true.
I will fight you. It is true.
Yes, I'm like hunching her over here.
Honest to Christ, woman.
Doing the rudest thing to friends, like, shut the fuck up.
Who voluntarily moves to Texas unless it's for somebody? Sorry, just saying.
Seriously.
Well, the bar industry is not hot right now in New York. It's not doing well.
In New York City,
because of the
people are selling shots outside at the door. They're selling shots on the street of New York. Like, bars are opening up their doors and just selling shots, and people are walking away with them.
I'm so sorry. I love the chats. Like, it just fucking like, where's it like bingo
I'm
square?
Laughing at this. Erica's showing off. I'm trying to do Kinky Sweat's middle split drills while I'm here.
Wow, good on you.
I think I can do this though. I can be like, yay! That's all I got.
So, I had some like dude recommended in my YouTube feed, and he's some like workout. I sent Audra the picture. I'm like, whatever he wants me to do, I will do. Oh my god, like he's gorgeous. Sorry, Bear.
Thank you.
But also,
right. Well, you know what? You guys are making me like,
I'm sorry. Was that the sound of you rebooting?
Did you just say I'm rebooting?
Well, like what other noise is that? You're hilarious.
Everyone is killing me right now. Oh my gosh.
Oh my god.
Oh, Bear, you're just one sleeve away from being as hot as that dude. Don't you worry about it.
Exactly. It looked just like you, Barry. Like it was just you. He's just 20 years younger. That's all. Like that's all.
Oh, he's just a Barry in trading. Oh gosh, there it is.
This is my food with my friends. Nate, we will bully you into loving yourself, Audra. Me with my friends. You will fucking love yourself.
I love you guys, man. Like I'm working on it. Like I love I'm the sound effects machine. I really am. I started like kind of looking at some of my videos from time to time. The amount of weird sound effects I make, and like they make it into videos where I'm like, and they're like, okay, and then that's what's happening. And then like the Terror Tuesday today, I was so fucking excited that I edited it like that. I don't know if you got to see it, Emily, but I was like fucking stoked that I made that editing happen. I'll have to show it to you later. Because like I did like, so you, if you've seen Insidious, you know how like there's a picture where like the evil witch lady keeps getting closer and closer and closer. I edited a video for that. Like, I didn't even know I could do it. I filmed it like that, not knowing I could edit it like that. So I was like, why do you have my pajama pants? It's not bedtime, son. Y'all think I'm kidding. He has my pajama pants.
The beatings will continue until the morale improves. Same.
He brings me my pajama pants. When he wants to go to bed, he brings me my pajama pants.
That's so cute.
See, people notice your editing. They love that. Laugh so hard. Yeah, I was listening to it, and then you said you were gonna like it was doing a thing, and so I like rewound. Wow, rewound. I rewound. Yes, that's how I know I'm old. I rewound and watched it again. Actually watched it and not listened. I don't know. I feel like that makes me think of videotapes. Anyway,
it's still correct.
Mommy, it's cuddle time. If anybody doesn't know, that is Bo. That is Audra's son. If you hear her mention son in a video.
Son. Oh, baby boy.
Look at how he's looking at you.
He loves you. Okay, Audra accidentally sent us a Marco Polo the other day. Where it was mainly like 100% her ceiling fan. She must have hit start and the thing, and all you hear is like, "Sir, you shit on my floor." Audra's like losing her whole ass mind. I'm like, Audra. I'm trying to send like voice record. I'm like, hello.
Because he didn't hear me like talking to him like he's a human being. Like, we've had this discussion before. Like,
you had obviously like had Marco Polo out, was gonna started it, was gonna say something,
and then realized,
sees the shit show, just lays it on the table, walks away. 20 minutes later, like 30 minutes later, because you're like, I ate food and edited, and then I realized my phone was still on.
That's so funny.
I was doing the thing.
Also, Tracy, you never need to make new bingo cards. Like, bingo cards last. They last for life. I mean, unless you want to, but yes.
Yeah, you never know what's going to happen when.
Yeah, right.
So that one's gotten a requisite.
Thank you, Keisha.
Yeah, we're 15
like a
minutes
requisite,
in,
like 15 minutes of bullshit.
Yes,
so
MLMs are a scam, everybody.
Yes.
There's no segue.
They're a cult. They're a scam. They're a pyramid scheme.
Know what MLM is, it stands for multi-level marketing. And,
also known as a pyramid scheme.
So fun fact, the reason that it gets away with what they do is even though it is shaped like a pyramid, they are selling something. And that is how they can
lies and bullshit.
Ooh, Tracy, I'm so sorry.
So if you ever have a friend, good night, Danica, that's like, I have a friend from high school or college that hasn't talked to you for years. All of a sudden you get a Facebook message or an Instagram message and they're like, I have this amazing business opportunity for you. Delete, block, don't just.
Lisa Marie, I sold those Cutco knives. I'm never going to forget those Cutco knives. I think everybody.
Oh yeah, I
still have some of them.
Yeah, I was like,
gosh, Megs, there's so many new MLMs. There's one that it's like for something and it's makeup related, but a lot of them are just, oh gosh, hey girl, and they all do start out like that. Long time no see.
I love what you've been posting on your feed.
Oh my God.
Like totally unrelated to anything.
Yeah.
I get them all from Herbalife now. They're like, I see that you're crushing it with the weight loss. I'm like, yeah, and it's nothing to do with Herbalife. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'm surprised that the Beachbody people haven't come for me.
It's Angela. Angela is the one who came in with that comment.
The system is designed to
like I'm a failed hunt. Yeah, I was like, nobody is a winning hunt. No one is a winner at it. Everyone,
unless they got in like 5 years ago and they're sitting at like that just underneath the CEO tier, and then they're just selling at everybody else below them.
The only way that you can actually be like fully successful is if the shit just came out and you're one of the first ones doing all the recruiting bullshit. Otherwise, like it's just it's and one of the reasons me and Emily and Kara wanted to talk about this is because there's so many people who are unemployed. And these Huns are coming the fuck out.
Yes, see, that's the thing. The Herbalife people, as soon as you like hashtag anything to do with health, they're like, hey, have you heard of Herbalife? I'm like, why, yes, I have. Honest to God.
Oh, that's interesting. So pharmacy,
Pharmacy, that's it.
Is makeup. Oh. It's interesting. So here's the thing is that all these MLMs are advertised as like, it can be your side hustle. You can do it while you're just like hanging out at home, just be on your phone.
Mm-hmm.
But
except you have to side hustle 24 hours a day to make anything out of it.
Well,
correct.
And then, that's when they come into gaslighting you because later they're like, if you really want it, you have to commit to it. You have to do the work. And I'm like, bitch, a week ago you told me, or a month ago you told me, you could just like, it's super easy. You just do it on your downtime. And now you're telling me I need to commit more time after I already invested. Because you have to, here's the other thing is you have to invest money to start in an MLM.
And that's the thing. It's sort of like brands that are like, hey, we want you on our PR team. Just buy our shit for 10% off. And I'm like, no, if you want me, I'm not going to pay to have a job. What?
Yeah, because I mean, but the way they get around it, and this is how like that cult behavior starts. So if you've ever been to one of those job interviews where there's a bunch of people, like first of all, if you run,
you mean the first circle of hell? Yes, I've been there.
Walk the fuck out of the room. Yeah. If you go in and it's a job and you think that it's an actual, first of all, if a company calls you and you're not sure, especially right now, if you're not sure if you apply to that job, like ask them questions about the type of employment because they are very evasive. They will not tell you. A company that actually is hiring, you're like, I'm sorry, could you just tell me what to do again? Real companies are like, yeah, we do da 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 da. These companies are like, well, we're an opportunity to, and you're like, so what am I interviewing for? Like, a shot on our team. Like, they never really tell you what job it is.
And as soon as they're like, well, we have this opportunity. I'm like, no, I want a job. I don't need an opportunity. Yeah. I need a job. Like,
yeah. And so the first line of defense is to say things to you like, well, every business it costs money to start any business. That's true. That is true.
Starting a business.
But that's how they trick people, right? Because it gets in your brain, because like they're using real world shit to fuck you up. So they're like, it will always cost money to start a business, and we're not going to charge you, the $150,000 if you wanted to get a 7-Eleven. And you're like, yeah, but 7-Eleven has all this backed up shit. Like, I don't know if you guys know this about chain restaurants, if you were able to like invest in one, but there's a rigorous whole deal to do so. Oh yeah. And on top of that, they are highly invested in you not failing. Repeat.
Absolutely.
They're interested in you not failing. They will send a gazillion and one resources for your fucking 7-Eleven or your McDonald's or whatever to stay afloat, because it doesn't look good for their program if you fail. It doesn't look good.
Yeah. Well, and they talk a lot about like, well, I mean, you just put in the time and you're going to be the CEO of your own company. No, you're not going to be the CEO of fucking Arbonne. No, you're not.
Correct.
You're going to move up a rank, but you're not going to be the CEO. So like, you need to stop with that, because it's bullshit. And it's
then like bankruptcy, like when they go, like if you go bankrupt, LuLaRoe does not go bankrupt. You do. You know what I mean? Like you lose. That's why like people will sit there and say, well, no, I have my own business. I'm like, no, but you don't, because like if you lose everything, they lose nothing.
And they don't
And that's happened to so many people. Yeah. And it's just insane.
Yeah. They blame you for not working hard enough and not. Then they're just like, okay, next. Like, full stop.
Well, and that's the thing is, everyone that this whole like conversation about like, well, you have to invest to start your own business. But here's the thing. If you are starting your own business, if you're like, I'm going to make my own eyeshadow company, that's your name on the front.
Yeah,
that's
correct.
Your name in the company website. If you're going to franchise a 7-Eleven, that's a different story. MLM somehow combine the two ideas together in all the most manipulative ways. They're like, there's like, you have to invest, but then you have all the control. You set your own schedule. As Persnickety said, they target, disabled people and people that are that like have to work from home, have different things that keep them out of the 9-to-5 workforce.
Fresh out of college.
But if you have to,
or still in.
Yeah, and somebody else mentioned they've never seen anybody in an MLM in a university. Oh no, it happens because it's a side hustle. So like I could totally see some, like, especially some of the girls I went to college with, totally falling into that, and especially something like Beachbody or something like a makeup MLM, where like, a couple people have said, I was a member of an MLM, but that's because I just wanted the discounts. But then after a while, they would make you sell. The reason why I'm so anti that, not to shame anyone that's done it, is that by you signing up and you buying from this company, you are investing into their cult, basically.
Yeah.
Even though you're not theoretically partaking, you're still giving them money to continue this cycle.
That's the same with even just trying their shit. Like if I was to buy a bunch of Arbonne shit just to try it or whatever.
And you're like, I tried MLM makeup video. Like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, like I tried it, so you don't have to. But I still gave them my money. Like, I don't want to go into that kind of thing, because these things are incredibly predatory, and they're taking advantage.
They're very expensive. Go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, I was just saying, this comment from Rachel Joy: MLMs also love to shame working mothers and fathers, but less so.
Oh yeah.
So that's the thing, is that there's this whole thing about like, why be away from your kids? Why why sacrifice that when you can work from home? But the reality is that if you actually if you were to look at any MLM out there, the ones that have released their numbers, I think the percentage I saw was like 5%. 5% of the entire company staff actually makes money.
Yeah.
Like it's some ridiculous thing like that. And it's like, why are you going to bet on 5%? Why are you going to gamble? Yeah.
Well, if you look deep into like the actual culture of it, so they trick you into feeling like you are going to invest in your own business because, investing. So they use the word invest. The next, like Rachel was saying, is, playing on the guilt that mothers already have. Mothers already have a lot of guilt about having to go to work and leave their children at home or not be able to get all their activities, not be able to do all this stuff. So they're playing on this guilt. This is one of the reasons why we say cult, right? Because they're using indoctrination to get you to get sucked in and buy in to where you can't get out. And it's so ingrained that people literally go from one MLM to another MLM to another MLM to another one, just seeking like this opportunity. It becomes like a drug. So they're just like, well, no, the other one wasn't good because and I didn't believe in that product. And that's like literally their excuse every time. Like, I did not believe in this product. But like when they quit, and it's never like I wasn't making any money. It's I didn't believe in the product.
And they never join it because they believe in the product. They join it for the opportunity, quote unquote.
Correct.
So it's like, of course you don't believe in the product because you never did.
Well, yeah, because like, look, there's three of us, right? Like the three of us sitting right here, right? If I join an MLM and I ask you, and I'm like, hey, Kara, do you want to join? And you're like, yeah, I'll join. I'll sign some people up. Well, guess what? The only other person that we like know mutually is Emily. So we're going to be fighting to each try to sign up Emily, right?
Yep.
And then Emily signs up. Now, who the fuck else are we going to sign up? Now we have to go all outside. Yeah.
Like, and that's the thing.
Like you can't.
Like, I live in a city of like 125, 135,000 people. How many I keep picking on Arbonne simply because it just keeps coming top of mind. How many people are selling it, and who are they selling it to? Not everybody can afford this shit because it's so marked up to begin with.
Yeah.
To take into account these commissions that these people make off of it. How, like, you're going to be oversaturated in no time.
Correct. Like if you look at, go ahead, Emily.
Is that the goal? The thing that's the biggest lie about MLMs is that they're telling you need to sell. But what you actually need to do is recruit people underneath you, because then you get percentages of their money. And then like the more people you have underneath you that have people underneath them, but the more money you make. But the thing is that no one's core network of people that are influential, that you are influential to, is big enough to be successful. I just don't think it exists. I think no one, because you're right, they overlap. You start finding, you try to recruit somebody, they've already been recruited, they're already doing it. Like no one's network is strong enough to be this highly successful person at MLMs.
Yeah, because I mean, I had in Vision of You, and I think somebody else was talking about the MLM parties. So I was friends with somebody for a while, and she sold LuLaRoe, which I always talk about LuLaRoe because I will never forget this experience, because the buy-in on that is the highest of any MLM I've ever seen. $6,000 to $10,000 just to buy in.
Who has $10,000 sitting around to buy a shit ton of leggings?
Correct. Oh, it's not just leggings anymore. It's hideous dresses. Yeah. Moving on. But, originally when it started, and again, this is that thing where most of these start out with one intention, but a lot of times what happens is that, like, if I decide I'm going to sell some makeup, right? And I'm selling it and I'm making it and I'm doing my thing, and I have a few people helping me out. And they're kind of like, oh, well, I told my friend, and they're selling some stuff, and we start making a lot of really good money. So what happens to a greedy businessman or business person is that they go, you know what, without all the fucking overhead, I can just like have this money. I can be filthy rich. I can just have it without all this overhead, because I won't have a store. I don't have to sell it here. I don't have to do this. Like, I don't even have to pay these people. That's the other thing. I don't even have to pay these people that are selling my shit. I don't have to pay them a damn dime. I just tell them they have an opportunity and they buy my shit. Oh, extra money for me.
Well, right? And you're also not paying, sorry to interrupt you, but you're also not paying EI benefits for them. You're not paying any, well, we have CBP, so Canada Pension Plan, so old age security, basically. You're not paying any health benefits. You're not paying for any sort of retirement plan or anything like that. You're just like, hey, you, sell my shit for me. I'm going to go be on the yacht. Check in later.
Because the owner, the CEO of LuLaRoe would often have like these Disney trips, right? And this is the biggest crock of shit from MLMs are their trips. Okay. Let me tell you about those trips. They pay for them. That's not the company isn't paying for them. They didn't win a fucking trip. Nobody won a trip. They're paying for them. And they tell them to say that they won this trip.
But when they all got canceled because of the Rona, they all took to their Instagram stories crying about how they're going to lose their deposits and all this kind of shit. And it's like, well, I'm sorry, did you get it for free? Because that's what you were saying last month. And now you're saying that you paid for it. Like, keep your story straight.
Yeah, because all of their posts are always like, when they were there, they're like, oh my gosh, if I wasn't working for Unique, I never would have been able to have this beautiful experience in Hawaii. They paid for it. It may have been discounted, but they paid. They didn't win.
And tell me that's not cultish in and of itself. Like the conferences that they go to, and then it's just like, they're just spiking the Kool-Aid that these people are already drinking anyways. And honestly, I think it spins off into that idea of like toxic positivity as well, where like everybody just has to be so happy all the time and nothing can possibly be a challenge. Like none of them ever say, yeah, you know what? It's a fucking grind, but I do it for this. They're always just like, it's just the easiest thing. And it's just like so fulfilling and it's so amazing. It's like, no, it's not. It's a fucking grind. It's a job.
And it's like these people, and we don't really think about it, but it's actually sad because these people honestly spend, especially stay-at-home moms, they are spending stupid hours doing this shit. Okay. Stupid. Like she was on Facebook all the time. And it's not like she just did a Facebook Live and like, no, she had to get all the fucking media ready for her Facebook Live, all this stuff so that she could show pictures and do this and do that. And then when it's all done, she has to be able to post all of the leggings and all of this stuff. It's never ending, and you don't sleep and you don't get any relaxation. All of your time is spent grinding. Like LuLaRoe even had a whole like plastic surgery thing going on. It was messy. Like people like this kind of shit's fucked up.
Yes. Okay, this is fucked up. Rachel Joy said, I have a special hatred for LuLaRoe because a school friend who had brain cancer and had to quit her job was convinced to sell it, and they took her $10K and only gave her $1K of stock. Yeah. Wow. And she's a part of the lawsuit now.
Yeah. That's and a big lawsuit too.
Is that like there's also the whole thing with the inventory where it's like I heard like especially with any of these brands they're gonna have new seasonal releases, and I remember hearing about this especially with LuLaRoe. It was like you really needed to have the seasonal items to be able to sell. So even if you had other stock, you're spending money to buy the current new releases because you needed to be up to date, and then you're still trying to sell old stock, old patterns that no one wants. And it's just like all these brands or all these people buying inventory and getting stuck with shit. I also wanted to say, so Keisha mentioned a lot of commentary channels selling tea lately. Interesting.
And the thing is,
somebody else had mentioned the cars and the luxury lifestyle as well. And I fell down the Kiki Chanel rabbit hole, so I've been watching a ton of her shit. And she's talking about these cars and saying like, okay, so with Arbonne in specific, they're saying like, you have no choice. You have to get a white Mercedes. That's it. So even if you have a family of 3 or 4 kids, an SUV might make more sense. Maybe something a little bit more rugged that's not like going to take premium gas and all that kind of shit. You have to get that specific car. And if you don't hit your target in a month, you don't get your monthly car payment. So now you're stuck with possibly a $700 a month car payment while you're trying to sell incredibly overpriced eye cream. You know what I mean?
No, T, they've also moved to Instagram.
Oh my God, they're taking over Instagram.
So they're taking over more Instagram on there. Pretty rough. Like, so especially beauty YouTube, guys and gals and non-binary folks, beware, because these people do sneak out, and they basically, what they do is they'll like comment something, and like usually they'll say something on your like, I love your feed, and the next thing you know, they're like, hey, did you need it? And you're like, nope. Like I don't even respond to them now.
And then they're just really aggressive about it too.
Yeah, T, but people are probably like kind of afraid of you. Will not send those requests to you. No offense.
It's all about how you present, and if you also like, I've also seen like where it's like you're a friend of a friend. So if someone in your network happens to be an MLM, I've seen friends of that person like come to like skip a network to try to grow outside their own network. They're like, oh, I saw you're friends with Ashley. You know, like we're so close, we're besties. Have you heard about this? And it's just like, if I turn down Ashley, I'm turning down you, stranger bitch. Like, get out of my face. Yeah. And also, and I wanted to say, so, oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, if you want, I think everyone should listen to a podcast called The Dream. The first season covers MLMs in a way that was very, very eye-opening and informative. And also, yes, Kiki Chanel and Beauty by Ashley are two creators here on YouTube that cover MLMs. And I know Beauty by Ashley has talked a lot about, like, there's a certain couple of Huns that have done, like, charity frauds, huge like monetary fundraisers, and there's no proof of any of it. Like it's related to like child abuse or child neglect, and there's like no proof. But because they have this huge network because of their MLM, they raise all this fucking money.
Well, and apparently a lot of them are also like claiming, like especially the essential oil people, and they're like, this will help prevent the C virus. And they're like, it's got antiviral bodies to it or whatever. I'm like, it's fucking oil of oregano. Like, no, it doesn't. Shut up.
Well, and here's the thing, I think earlier I'd seen maybe Emily Original had said, Eeyore had asked, like, isn't that illegal? Fun fact, but they're independent contractors. So the documentation that they signed or did or whatever that they received, whatever stupid packet they got, says all this information in it. And all that like Unique has to do, or doTERRA, like all they ever have to do is go, we don't condone that behavior. Done. Like, that's it. So they get away with that kind of behavior. They get away with tricking people like that. And it is especially just dangerous because I did not forget the ABH thing.
Oh yeah, we did not.
MLM. Really?
Okay. Well,
Illuminati is a good one. No, you're fine. I'm always eating
all day. So
here's the thing: is that Rodan and Fields and ABH have same investors. That's why they're connected. There's a company that has invested in both Rodan and Fields and ABH. So the fact that Norvina, I could say a lot about Norvina. The fact that she has the audacity to be like, what are MLMs? And also that she was like, oh, we stopped it. I don't believe that, because you share investors and there were probably contracts. I just don't believe that she's just like, we stopped it.
Like, you're not going to look into who you're going to collaborate with when you're that big, and you can't also Google MLM to see what it stands for? Come on.
Correct.
Yeah. Come on.
But here's the thing is, she might not have had a choice. If her investors are like, we've invested this much money in you, it could have been in the contract. It could have been like, with this investment, you have to do a collaboration or some bullshit with one of our partner brands. And if they were like, okay, we need you to collaborate with Rodan and Fields, or you get no money, I'm sure most greedy people would be like, okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's where like integrity comes into question, right? So
like the final nail in your cult coffin is that they're legitimately going to look you in the face and tell you this bullshit. It sells itself.
Yeah.
Like, some people love it. It sells itself. And they tell you that to trick your ass into thinking that like you're just gonna like basically get a client list, because a lot of what they do is they'll give you a very, very soft list, a soft call list, a soft customer list. And what this list is, the why it's so soft is because 50% of those people are gonna say yes. They know those people already buy the products. So they give you this list of like customers that other people have used, and they know that they buy, because otherwise you wouldn't join. Most people wouldn't join if your first sales didn't go well. So it even did the same for LuLaRoe. They all follow that same template. Your first sales, you're going to get it. You're like, oh my God, I'm doing it. And then like you have to cold call after that. And, like they'll keep giving you leads for a little bit, but the leads get colder and colder and colder and harder, as opposed to like the very soft, easy leads that they gave you at the beginning. And then all of a sudden you're just kind of on your own, and it's tough and it's hard and you're having difficulty. So they need to get you hooked in. They get you hooked in with those soft calls, and then you're selling shit and you're having a great time. You're like, fuck yeah, I'm a winner.
I mean, it's been years since I did the Cutco thing, but I remember they had us like write down lists of like, all of your family members, name all of your friends, name all of your classmates, all of your partners, all of this. And then they're like, okay, now call them. And they would sit you in a room and expect that you would call them all. And when you call them, you have to ask them for like 5 more people. And then you have to call that. And I was just like, I am not cut out for this. First of all, hard pass.
And that's why like Facebook is so dangerous now, because now you don't have to call nobody. So there's a multitude of reasons why I got off of Facebook, but that's definitely a plus. Those people cannot fucking bother me anymore, because the thing is, they don't accept no for an answer. Like, you'll be like, no, I'm good, politely. And then like a little bit later, they'll be like, oh my God, but I'm really loving your makeup. Like, you're so good at it. You should sell my bullshit. And you're like, I don't want to.
Blah. You don't have to, I mean, I have to be on Facebook because of the work I do. Use the block button, use the restrict button, like, especially when it comes to MLM people. If you feel like you're at all
zombies now. zombie.
Well, then they get like really aggressive too. They're like, oh, well, if you don't want to make money, then I guess. And I'm like, who says I'm not making money? I'm not making money selling fucking Herbalife. 2 months
ago.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is they'll try to get you with that, like, if you don't want to make money, and you're like, I don't, I'm good, thank you, I like being broke.
I don't want to make it this way.
But yeah, by the time they're done, you're kind of stuck in this position where, and I think this is why so many of them become very desperate and keep moving in the direction of MLMs, is because now it's too late to say, like, I failed. Right, because you were so gung-ho. You told everybody you were going to fucking make it. You said that this is going to be a thing. You told your spouse that you were going to do this. Like, this was going to be the thing.
And then you paid however much to get into it.
Yeah, so you paid, like, let's just use the low-level ones. You know, you paid $100 or $250 for your startup kit. If you made $7, because that's the thing, you're not really making the profit off of some of these things. Yeah. That's the other thing they don't tell you, because like some of these, like Cutco, for instance, paid like hourly. Like, and that's another way that they kind of got away with things, was like based on how many customers you saw in the day. At first, you were like kind of paid for like an 8-hour
like
or
10-hour day
or
something like that. Yeah, it wasn't much.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, it's horrible. And then you're out there busting your ass. And the thing is, you would think that since you don't have to go and talk to people anymore, like you don't have to go to anybody's house and do fucking demonstrations, that like these would have like died, like you just be like, okay, fuck it. But like, no, it's worse now, because you don't actually have to experience true rejection from people, because most of us just avoid them. Yeah. We like Emily says, we block them.
Yeah.
So we just avoid them and like move the fuck on. We're like, nope, good.
But and they don't. Back then, like say it was probably about 2005-ish when I was in it for like a minute. You also didn't have the online community of other people facing that rejection, where you could just be like, don't worry about it. People always do that. Here's what you can say next time, blah, blah, blah. And now they have these like group, like Zoom meetings and whatever, where they're like, okay, well, somebody said they don't have time. How do I respond? And these people just have like hammered out answers to give that.
Answers.
Keisha has an interesting point. Would it be fair to say that YouTube is worse than MLMs and how they treat smaller creators? They pay like $4 a year. You see how we're all silent?
The thing is, though, is that YouTube doesn't come to you and be like, hey, we've got this amazing opportunity for you. If you just like, do it as a side hustle, you're going to make a ton of money. Yeah. You voluntarily sign up for it. And yeah, I mean, the pay is shit. Like it's not a side hustle until you like hit certain
And the thing
levels,
is, if I decided I don't want to do YouTube, YouTube's not coming to be like, what?
Yeah.
You're quitting YouTube?
Or if you make a video saying, I'm not making a lot of money off of this, YouTube's not going to swoop in and be like, well, you're just not trying hard enough, are you, bitch? Like, that's what these MLMs do. They're just like, no, this is on you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like really, and yeah, Meg's ambassador programs are MLM euphemisms. Yeah. There's so many of them. In fact, even direct sales is another euphemism for MLM. all of these things. Listen, if you go to, even if they do a one-on-one job interview, if you're talking to somebody who's telling you about how much money they make and they got fucking cheap ass Target shoes, do not, like, no, because I'm sorry, I'm not going to stand there telling you I make a shit ton of money in cheap shoes. It's just not going to happen. That's not my character. Listen, it's not. I can't, because how can I portray, like, they have on a cheap, ill-fitting suit, the guys do, and then they have on these cheap scuffed shoes, and they're trying to tell me that, like, they used to not make any money. I'm like, what do you mean used to? Like, you still don't make money.
Now you're just putting it in the bank and not using it? But these ambassador programs as well, like, I get a ton of them from these people that sell, like, supplements and shit, because they see, like, I use the weight loss hashtag or whatever, but it's always like, we're going to give you a 15% discount, and then you can give your subscribers a 10% discount. Isn't life hunky-dory? Just buy our shit first. And it's like, no, I don't want to do that. If you really want me to demo your product, send it to me. I'm not buying it first. Like,
but see, and that's the funny thing. That's why I kind of quit hashtag. I like almost, you guys see my posts. I almost, I very rarely hashtag anything, and I don't add that much. I keep it very low key because that's the only way that I can keep them vultures off my motherfucking page.
Okay, so Tupperware is an MLM, Avon is an MLM, Mary Kay is an MLM, Pampers Chef is an MLM.
They've just been around for so long that people forget
toy companies that are MLMs. They all are. They're all toxic, and I don't, even if they are sold in Target.
Like, even,
I mean, Keisha, you're not wrong about
Amway is like the OG of MLMs.
Oh yeah. I was going to say, I agree with Nate that YouTube is about community, but then I also think about all these Huns that are like, I made so many friends and my life is so good, I go on these trips. So, I mean, Keisha, you're not off too far off base. I just enjoy my time on YouTube way more than I ever would trying to cold call some bitch that I don't care about.
Yeah, because that shit was miserable. Like, honestly, like, back in the day, it was just so miserable. Your heart is in your throat just trying to call some strangers. And,
even trying to call my own cousins. I was like, oh, fuck, man.
Yeah.
Like,
but see, Alex, there's a complete difference, because if you are trying to sell a dream, you need to dress the part. That's where that difference comes in. Because if you're trying to sell a bunch of people on this dream of being rich, then you need to look rich. Like, you can't show up telling me that you make all this money and then you look cheap as fuck. Like, I'm obviously not going to believe you.
That's why they give you a Mercedes and not like a Ford Fiesta.
Correct. Like, that's the whole point. That's why they have those, like, super fancy. Like, and I know people, like, Alex, you are right. I do know people who have some very good money and they don't, like, wander around throwing it. But there's a big difference in how these folks operate, because one, it's like one person or maybe two people, and then there's like 30 of y'all sitting around, and they're like looking at you like, we've got this opportunity, and they show you some stupid video and it's like, hello, da 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 da, and it's like fucking ridiculous. And
with like usually like the pump you up music in the background.
Yeah, and there's like fucking birds flying like an eagle, like, and it's like fucking insane.
You're selling chicken, my friend, not fucking world independence.
Listen, I went to one of those before, not because I wanted to go, but because I used to work for State Farm and they sent me to this thing. I think they thought it was like a real like business marketing deal, but it was just a giant scheme. Tony Robbins was there. It was
I've gone to see him, and that was the most terrifying shit I've ever.
He's very frightening.
Talk about a cult-like setting.
Try my diarrhea here, and you can drive a Ford
Fiesta. Honestly, God. No, it's.
I agree with it.
Fuck yeah, diarrhea tea.
No, my partner and I went last year because we thought it would be motivating or some shit, and both of us were just like, "Get me the fuck out of here!" Like, it wasn't an MLM-based thing, but it was Tony Robbins and a bunch of other speakers. And they try to get you to buy their books. They're like, we have this program and it's $5,000, but for today it's $2,000. No, wait, it's $700. No, you know what? Run right now. Sign up. It's $200. I'm like, so how much is this fucking worth? Clearly, it's not worth.
I told you that is an MLM, Kara. That is MLM bullshit. Yeah, that really is it, because people were. It doesn't end at whatever the fuck you buy there.
Like, and my partner,
they were running like,
and it's like elbows up, and they're running to sign up, and I'm like, this is insane.
I know.
Insane.
That's why I don't like the self-help community, because it's fucking creepy as shit, and that stuff happens within the self-help community.
No,
what is it? Like, it reminds me of Brian Griffin, where he's like, dream it, be it, do it. Like some dumb shit like that. Oh my God. No, because he couldn't get
this is a
published author, so he just made that shit up.
Tony Robbins has shocked
I had
energy.
spit hit me, and I was just like,
because of course, Bethany asked, "I wonder what it's like to have sex with Tony."
He probably high fives you
motivational.
Like,
I'm
and
sure
he
it's
would have
motivational.
like,
no, that's where that comes from.
Like, can I get an amen? It wasn't saying that, but it was like that, and everybody would like every time he did it.
I feel like he would be like this. Kara, the only way for you to achieve an orgasm is to believe you're going to have an orgasm. If you don't believe in your orgasm, you will not have one. Are you believing right now? And he's just like the whole time he's pumping and like moving his arms. Are you believing right now?
A mirror so he could watch himself.
Oh, I'm so sorry for that. I'm so sorry for the imagery. Apologies. Apologies for that whole
but
thing.
also I was just like, stop. Oh my God.
Yeah, it was horrifying. And like when people sat down, they're like, by the end, we're
diarrhea teeth.
Like, I fucking doubt it. Diarrhea teeth. The goddess. That's hilarious.
I'm sorry, everybody. Like Megs, Sherry, Egg, Rachel, like y'all, Diana. I'm sorry. I apologize. Listen, I'm a person
I don't
who talks
understand.
with my hands and body. Like
I was gonna say that was talking with your body.
I talk with y'all. Y'all have seen me talk on the Marco Polo now. You know, like I do stuff like this in my head.
When you started off with like talking about your butt, and I was like, "Good morning, Audra. It's 8 in the fucking morning."
What did I say about my butt? That was yesterday.
About a polyp, which was
I told you my polyp story. Yeah.
And then Barry made a song for it. We just even interpreted it. We're all set. Honest to God.
Thank you.
I just like never apologize. Don't be sorry. You're funny as hell. Good night, Frankie.
Night, Frankie.
Everybody's like, peace out.
Well, it's very like the whole, because that's why they have these group meetings like that, right? Because it's a frenzy. And like Kara C and I've seen it. I don't know if you've personally been there for them, but like it creates a frenzy. That's why they have them. And that solidifies your cult status because you may like, but see, I'm fairly cynical. So like the whole time I'm at this thing, I'm just like, what the fuck? And I think some dude who won, like he was a Dallas Cowboy. I feel like he was there. I don't know what his name is because I don't do that sport.
I don't even know
but
so we're all good.
It's football.
Yeah, like, no,
I'm like, I do hockey. I do some soccer. I like to watch rugby, but I don't know. And
those are the good sports in my
so it's just like, but they had him there, and that's how they trick you, right? And these people are getting like fucking paid to be at these things, so they will throw their morals to the side to do whatever they need to do to get their money. So it's like they've gotten you all to this point, and then they get you to this meeting, and then go ahead, Kara.
One of the Tarte chrome paints in Top Yacht, and then I topped it with something from Touch and Soul, which are on sale on Sephora, and it's the shade Sun Aurora. It's their metallic oiled pigment.
Oh, that's like the very lime chrome Natasha Denona, like a goldy green.
Yeah, it has like a bit of a duochrome shift to it. I can never.
Yeah,
nice.
It's very pretty.
Yeah, Bethany, it's the legs. It's the legs. Soccer players that what fuck up my life. But yeah, I mean, it's so they give you in that frenzy, and you're all there, and then like you just the excitement. Like I was saying, I'm very cynical. 9-8, and I'm very cynical, so that kind of shit like really doesn't like pull me in like it would a lot of people.
Sure there's a lot of people
that have
feel that way, and then they feel like maybe there's something wrong with me. If all these other people are hyped up, running to go sign up for the next conference, what's wrong with me that I'm not like seeing it? And then you second
and that is the trick. That's the final trick, like to break you down. Yes, if you manifest.
The thing the thing is those like self-help like things remind me of evangelical Christianity, and it's all a big fucking no to me. It's like there's always some. Yeah, exactly. And it's like, oh, just give a little bit more money and things will work out. And I'm just like, no, I'm not gonna do that.
A lot of MLMs are deeply rooted in religion.
Yeah,
like
some people in the chat earlier were talking about how like they target Mormon moms. a lot.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of their headquarters are in Utah, like Mormon country. Nothing wrong with being Mormon,
Exactly.
just saying. That's because it is.
I know that name, but I can't picture who he is right now. Joel Osteen.
He's got a creepy church. He just tells people to basically fuck off every time something's happening.
All right.
Like flood's happening and people need a place to stay. He's like, oh, fuck off. And you're like, oh.
In the name of Jesus Christ, fuck off.
Yeah.
Fuck the bootstraps. You cannot pull yourself up by your bootstraps. In an MLM, correct. Out of an MLM, that is some trash. Oh.
And so then it's like sliding into you like, hey, Robbie. Oh,
Beach body seems like especially terrible. I don't know.
Between them and it works. Oh my God. Big gums. Tony Robbins got big gums. Like, do you know what big gums are?
Okay.
Because I don't know if all ethnicities talk about big gums the way that we do. But big gums, or also referred to as chiclet teeth, whichever way you want to put it. But it's when you have a far more gum to teeth ratio. Mm-hmm. And it's creepy. It's pretty creepy at times. Like, listen, don't get mad at me, but there was this meme. There was this meme wandering around where this person had smelled, they had the big gums. And it was like, you should have warned me before you introduced me to the second story of your mouth.
Oh my God, that's awful.
That is fucking terrible.
It's terrible. I was like, awful. But I will say that when I saw that meme, I was having quite possibly the worst time. And like instantly, I was like, I can't say shit. My gums are pink and brown. Like, whatever. Like, I have 2 different color gums.
The second level of your mouth. Oh my God. Can I just say, though?
I'll be right back. I gotta go grab something. Y'all continue without me.
Pictures of Joel Osteen.
I'm just dying at the second story of gums of a mouth. Wait, why do we need a better doorman? I'm confused.
I don't know. I've missed so much. I'm just sitting here doing makeup and eating.
I can't help. They have big gums.
I know.
Oh, Faffy, this is the worst. They're basically like, you don't understand because they haven't opened your heart to how good this company is and how much it can change their lives.
It's sad though, because it's so predatory, and they don't understand that they're predatory. But when you're specifically targeting people who are disabled or stay-at-home moms or anything like that, like, that's predatory. And when you're saying that they're going to have this amazing life just by doing this, that's predatory. It's not true.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is so I was thinking about this. I think about this term a lot thanks to, I feel like, Makeup YouTube, sunk cost and the sunk cost fallacy. And I feel like MLMs thrive on that because it's like, okay, let's say it takes $1,000 to get into one. Mm-hmm. And then you're a couple of months into it and you're like, well, I haven't made any sales, but like, am I just not trying hard enough? Do I not have the most current inventory? Maybe I'm just going to put another $1,000 into this. And then like, we'll see. And it's like,
got to make or spend money to make money.
And run.
Yeah. Cut
and run. As soon as you start feeling like, maybe if I just spend a little bit more money, I'll make the money back. You will not. That will not happen.
And when you get on these team calls, at least the ones that I've seen on Kiki Chanel, I've never seen them like firsthand.
Yeah,
but
same.
They're just like, you just got to try harder. You just got to try harder. If you tried, then you'd get it, blah, blah, blah. So like you take an already vulnerable person who's already spent more than what they have. They're just going to take that to heart and be like, okay, well, maybe I do need to try harder. And okay, so maybe I do need to buy the bigger package so that I can sell different items. And then it's just, you're spiraling. And then there's like a certain amount of shame that comes along with it to be like, okay, this didn't work. Mm-hmm. And then people are like, I'm failed. And it's like, no, you didn't fail. The system is designed for people to fail. That's what it's for. Yeah. It's horrible.
The system is designed to make you a loser. Also, yes, I was going to bring this up earlier. The Chris Watts case, that case is That case is intense. So Rami says, maybe it's the true crime fanatic of me, but I always think about Chris Watts' case when I hear about MLMs. So Chris Watts' wife, Cheyenne Watts, was in an MLM. And I remember when I first heard about it, there was a lot of conversation about, how she's always on Facebook doing these live chats with her followers, and she's selling, and they went on these trips, and she was like so active within her MLM, and she had daughters, and she was able to do it all. And I always think about that case when I think of MLMs. It is, if you're interested in true crime,
oh, that's a horrible case. Oh, horrible.
It's a horrible case. Yeah. Don't look into it if you're not
sensitive about
into
kids.
True crime.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, don't look into it if you're sensitive about kids. Exactly. Fuck Chris Watts, piece of shit.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, Elise.
Yes. Yeah, I agree with Keisha. I feel like part of what makes MLMs appealing is that working at a job can feel like a scam and how we get fucked over. Mm-hmm. I agree. I think it's very easy to feel like, oh, this is the worst. This is terrible. I never want to do this. And if I can like work from home and make my own schedule and all of that.
Mm-hmm. Well, they like
and
to
you're like,
themselves to corporate.
Oh, I can do that.
And they're like, you'll never get ahead at corporate and this and that, but here you can become your own CEO. And it's like, no. I mean, corporate's not my world. It's not what makes me happy, but there is something to be said for it in terms of job security.
So Visions of You, as didn't Ulta carry an MLM Luminous Lion King makeup collection, retailers need to do a better to safeguard their customers. So Luminous is an MLM, but here's the thing is retailers don't give a fuck. Retailers are not going to safeguard their customers. You have to safeguard your purchases. If you really don't want to support MLMs, you have to have that knowledge, because more of these MLMs are getting picked up in these weird random places. Yeah, Luminous is an MLM. I feel like I've seen some other ones that have like popped up here and there where it's just like, I wonder, has like BoxyCharm or anybody ever had an MLM brand in there? I'll wait for Audra to come back. A wife and 2 kids. Yeah. The husband did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's relevant, but I still always think about it when it comes to MLMs. She already did. I think Chris Watts was the first makeup and murder video she ever did.
Yeah, like don't forget Scentsy, because like that's the thing is I side eye a lot of these small creators because they'll be like, opening I Scentsy. It's Scentsy is an MLM, like it is. Like it doesn't matter. I get it. You like candles or whatever, but it's still an MLM, and somebody is still getting taken advantage of because they're not getting paid the way that they should get paid. And yes, I do believe BoxyCharm got in trouble for. I was listening to y'all, by the way. But
that's what I was going to ask. Yeah, I was going to say, did BoxyCharm
got in trouble for it?
This works.
So Tan's Beauty asked, ABH is going to be tied to MLM. So basically, one of their like small mini products was somehow going to be sold or gifted to Rodan & Fields customers.
Yeah,
and it got seen and got called out. And Norina's response is, "What is an MLM?" She claimed she didn't know what they were. She claimed they canceled because I think it was like a sample, and then you were going to have the opportunity to buy the ABH product from Rodan & Fields. But here's the thing is that Rodan & Fields and ABH share an investor. So
yeah.
And
the thing is, like the majority of products in an MLM
interesting.
Like the majority of their products are not good, or they're overpriced, right? So it's like the way that I look at it is, if these things were so good, why the fuck aren't they in like an actual store? Why don't they have their own store? Like if Unique is so fucking fabulous, why isn't there a Unique store? Why isn't it sold in Sephora? Why isn't it sold in Ulta? Why isn't it sold in Nordstrom?
Essential oils, where they're like, I was just watching one from, again, Kiki Chanel, that's where I get all my information from, where they're like, if you use this, whatever the fuck it is, then you can come off of your insulin to a type 1 diabetic. What the fuck? What the fuck? What are you doing? Like that. I mean, and then you say that to the wrong person who happens to be an idiot, because newsflash, they exist. And they're like, okay, well, I'm just going to rub this oil of patchouli or whatever the fuck on my wrist, and now I don't need insulin, and they die. What the fuck? Like,
well, and especially cancer patients are highly susceptible to like the essential oils people, because if you know anybody who's gone through cancer, or if you have yourself, you know that the treatments and all going through all that is taxing, and you want it to end. And somebody comes to you with some bullshit that like, hey, you're not going to have to like do these fucking chemo treatments anymore that suck the life out of you. You're going to be able to like rub this. And I'm not saying that essential oils aren't good for you. What I am going to say is it does not replace modern medicine. Like, I use essential oils, I use teas, I use a lot of homeopathic methods to handle various things, but like cancer is not one of those things. Right. Like, cancer is not something that an essential oil is going to take care of for me. You know what I mean?
If you're type 1 diabetic, take your fucking insulin. What the shit?
Yeah, there's no cure to that. You have to take your insulin.
Would doctors not be prescribing it left, right, and center? Like,
correct.
You know what I mean?
Well, don't get me started on the medical industry not wanting to cure anything, but
that's true.
Fine, but this would be far more prevalent, and people would be like, okay, well, why would I go through having an insulin pump if
Emily, you're correct.
Behind my ear?
But Emily, you're correct, because many people have that same belief. Like, and I believe it too. Like, there's no money in a cure. But when you tie that together with somebody who's going through some shit or upset or whatever, when you tie those two things together, it is a nasty combination, because they're like, yeah, there's no money in a cure. They wouldn't want me to know that I can rub patchouli oil on the bottom of my foot and cure my cancer. They don't want me to know that. And that's how they tell people. And so it's very easy to get people into this mindset of believing something's going to help you
too. And they're like, well, just use this oil on your baby, and then they won't get whooping cough or whatever. And you're like, oh my God. Like, I don't want to go down the road of vaccines, because that's such a hot topic, but like, also vaccinate but
vaccinate your kids. I wanted to say, so in my opinion, a company is not an MLM unless they make you sell things to be able to sign up. So I don't think these subscription programs are MLMs, or that Win company, or like, I don't think being sold on TV makes you an MLM. I think it's just like, when you sign up, you're automatically recruited to sell things, not just to get things, but to sell them, and recruited to tell people
probably just a bad idea.
So the pyramid works in a very specific way, right? You have the people at the very, very top, and then you have your middle level, and then you have your ground level people who jump in. So the way that the MLM works is you buy in, and how they get around, even though this is how come they keep losing all their lawsuits, but they don't care, because they don't have to pay a shit ton of money, and they just keep operating the way they're operating. So what they do is, to get around pyramid schemes, they have a product to sell. Then to also get around it, they're supposed to sell a specific amount of product versus recruiting. That's how it's supposed to be. However, it is just inflated so unbelievably bad, which is one of the reasons that LuLaRoe representatives and consultants are suing, is because LuLaRoe did actually, like virtually every MLM starts out with the actual selling of the product, which is, it is what it is. They're selling a product. But then it switches from you selling and becomes more focused on you getting other people to sign up. And that's the way that you're going to make money. So when I talked about like the soft sales and all of that stuff, it starts there, right? And then you start getting people who are, hey, and then you start getting people to buy your shit. Then you start getting them to get other people to help you, sell your shit. But then they go, well, the only way you can really make money is if you recruit some of these people beneath you, that's the only way, because you'll start saying something eventually, being like, I'm not really making as much money as I thought I was. I think I'm going to quit. And they're like, oh, well, you need to recruit. Yeah. That's what you need to do. And suddenly your upline is constantly telling you that the best way, like they're sitting there being like, I don't even have to do it anymore, because I have to have a sale once in a while because I have this many people working below me, and then they have this many people working below them, and that's where that triangle starts coming in. The triangle is never ending. Yeah. That's the other thing about the triangle, is that it never ends.
Yes.
It just keeps making its way down and down, and it just keeps Like you can make your levels all you want, but it just never ends, because if I'm selling it and then I have 2 people below me and they have 2 people below them, they have their own triangles. So it just, it's like this never ending waterfall of bullshit. And so, all right, OG
and
Bethany.
yes, you're OG Bethany. But yeah, I think if the profitability depends on how many people you recruit and not how much you sell, you are in an MLM. Thank you.
Yes. And that is how that is where the switch happens. And that is one of the unique things. I hate to say unique, but what's one of the unique things about LuLaRoe was how many of them began to realize the actual change, right? Like a lot of them did not appreciate the way that the company changed, because they went from actually selling leggings to having to have all of these Facebook parties, to having to post all this weird, fake, positive, live, love, laugh bullshit, to having to say that they were going on these trips and winning these trips, to having to recruit like motherfuckers to get people to join. And they're like, this isn't what you said this company was. And so many of them were very upset, disenfranchised. And on top of that, with all that money, fun fact, they did not get to choose their inventory. So you would pay $3,000 for inventory that you never got to see, pick, or choose. They just sold it to you. And the problem with that is the longer that you're in there, you're not getting the best patterns. Who's getting the best patterns? The new people. Why? Because they want them to stay invested. If they don't make money the first few times that they're out, they're not staying in.
Yeah. Sorry, Keisha asked if the lives is Tuesday or Wednesday, and I think we've agreed to switch them to Tuesday. We just haven't told them.
Yes. Yeah, so sorry. We're switching them to Tuesday.
Tuesdays and Thursdays.
That way you guys get a break. We get a break. This beer does not drink itself, and also it does not. My old ass doesn't recover the way I used to, because resident old bitch of YouTube. So
Truth.
Listen.
Same.
My ass was knocked out for hours.
MLMs have tax sheltering, faux charities, and other businesses to shift money around to avoid paying taxes or properly document assets and earnings. They're basically doing everything they can to suck up as much money to the top of the pyramid and fuck everyone else, fuck the countries they're based in, and all of that.
Yeah, I mean, because the goal, again, greed is, Gordon Gekko, greed is good. It's not, though, because this is how they get into that hot water, right? Because the greed overtakes their original business plan. I don't think most people started out their business with the intent of it being an MLM, right? Like even Mary Kay, I don't think she started it with the intent of fucking people out of their money. She started it with the intent of women having empowerment and having something to do and be able to get out of their homes. Avon the same, just especially back in the day when it was started, for women to be able to have purpose and have something in community. But once those people are gone, it very quickly takes on a life of its own. Yeah. And on top of that, they had horrible, people doing makeup looks of being beaten. It's just terrible. Unique is a horrible piece of shit. I'm so sorry.
Oh my God. They had people doing makeup. Wow.
Yeah, they did.
Makeup looks of being beaten for their charity for survivors of sexual assault.
They did.
Also, can we talk about because I know this was mentioned early on, or it was mentioned in the Discord, how we have to talk about how trash lip sync is for at least some amount of time. Can we just talk about how terrible all these different brands and their products are?
Oh my God. Kara's had lip sync. I've had lip sync. It is a nightmare.
I haven't, thankfully. I've known people, friends who have had it, and they're like, it hurts like a motherfucker.
It does. It hurts so bad. And the thing is, it doesn't feel good on. It felt like I had paint on my lips all day. And I was just like, this is so uncomfortable. How do I make this comfortable?
I looked into it, but it would have cost me over $60 just to get one lipstick plus their primer and topper or whatever the fuck. And I'm like, I just bought a Gucci lipstick today for less than that. Thank you very much.
Listen, I got it for free. Somebody was selling it. So they're like, can I send you this? Because I was doing beauty Instagram at that time. So they sent it to me, and I think there were photos out for a little while of me being like, I just love this. And I'm like, I love it. It's so good. It hurts so bad. It's so good. I didn't want to hurt her feelings.
Yeah,
now these days I don't care.
You have to buy a specific product in order to remove it. I'm like, I don't want. Like, what is in this? I don't want that on my mouth. And you had to alcohol because it's made of alcohol. Like,
there was a very specific
like that's why it burns.
Because you literally had to like have the driest of dry lips, like so dry. Like make sure your lips like are damn near cracking. Okay, and then you put on your first coat. Do not purse your lips. You put a coat here and then you put a coat here. Then you wait. Then you wait. Then you wait. Then you put on the next coat. Okay, and again, don't purse your lips. Then you put on their weird ass fucking lip gloss.
Well,
all right, that's supposed to give you like.
Me apply my lipstick, and this will last for ages. I'm not advocating that everybody has to go out and buy Chanel. However, it's the same kind of concept, but it feels like a lip gloss. Like I don't feel like I have anything on my mouth, and it'll last for hours.
But also,
I mean, I have a Pat McGrath mat right now, and I put gloss on top of it. I'm fine.
Right?
Isn't it like for me? I always have to be like this, like the whole time. Like it can't. It's not just sitting there. It's like.
Yeah, you have to keep your lips apart.
Put liquid lipstick, I would have to stretch my lips too so that it didn't crinkle into my lip lines. Yes. So like I'm sitting here like, like 10. No,
it's a whole
that
ordeal.
Lip sense shit.
Like you had to be doing like so. The thing about lip sense was, you had to start doing your lips before you started doing your makeup if you wanted to have your lips done. Like that's where it is. So it's just like that kind of shit was horrific.
I feel that.
It brings back like, you know, horrible memories of like wearing that shit. And the worst thing was the remover, if you accidentally mixed up the remover with the gloss, it looked like, you know how paint is on a building and it's old
Crackle.
And it's cracking? It looked like it was like you looked horrific. It was just like, and you were like, oh, I'm so sorry. And it was like, are you okay? And you're like, are you okay? Oh my God, maybe I'm not okay. But it was horrible. Oh, the nail, like, I don't like the nail ones either because they're like, oh, you put these like nail covers on. I'm like, listen, I can go to the store and I can buy it. Like,
I have got sucked into those so many times, those friggin' nail wraps, whatever they are. And then I get them and I'm like, I do not have the level of motivation required to put up with this bullshit. Like it's a pain in the ass. I'm like, I will just paint my goddamn nails. I can't.
Or give me fake nails with the art already applied to it.
Yes, I'll just glue them on my fingers and we're good to go.
And the thing is, like when your friends approach you, like I've reached a stage now where I don't have the kindness and patience that I used to try to explain to somebody that they're in an MLM. And the reason I don't is because even like they're not going to hear it. Okay,
and they don't
they're
care.
Just not.
They don't care.
They don't care. They're on there like because I watched somebody on Facebook go from I don't know how many she was fucking in, but it was insane. Every time I turned around, the last one she was in was that Farmazy one that she was talking about before. I was just like, I need to block you, because she was always like saying something and the thing is, they make these posts that are very, very vague, right? Like they'll post a look, and especially with beauty, or like they'll just post a look. And then somebody they're waiting for somebody to go, oh, what eyeshadow is that?
Yeah.
What's that lip color?
Yeah.
And then they start commenting, and like, because the whole thing is to trick you into asking questions. So they'd be like, oh, thank you, I love it. And you're like, well, what is it? And they're like, oh, well, you know, like it's something I'm testing.
Coy. Like, fuck off.
And you're like, okay.
I don't care that much. I don't care that much. And like, here's the thing, like if you are doing a job and you have to defend your job multiple times a day saying it's not a pyramid scheme, you're in a fucking pyramid scheme.
Yeah.
Like, you have to be self-aware. If you're just sitting there being like, no, this is different than all the other MLMs. No, it's not. Stop it.
And meanwhile, these women's and men's spouses are just watching they're helpless at some point to help them. Because originally they didn't know what an MLM was, and they just wanted to be able to do something nice so that the other, because when you work from home, and I've done that, or you have to stay at home, I've done that in a relationship, you do start to feel a little useless. You don't feel as like empowered, and it's just very upsetting because you're like, well, the house is clean and I've done all the things I need to do, and it didn't take long to get that done. And then these folks come along and be like, we'll also fill in your day. And you're like, you'll fill in my day? And so spouses are like very excited to like okay, well, here's the $200, just do you. The problem is they don't realize that that's like a gateway drug. Like it doesn't stop there. And a lot of people don't Nightberry, but a lot of people don't get to get out of it. Once they start, they don't come out. Like they just go from one to the next, to the next, to the next. Some of them are working 2 or 3 at a time, even though there's non-compete clauses.
Oh, really? I never knew that about non-compete.
Oh, yeah. A lot of these MLMs actually have non-compete clauses because, like, for instance, if you're selling, candles or whatever, they don't want you selling candles from someone else at the same time.
Yolanda.
Yes, Yolanda, you are correct. Because they treat you like you are special. You're like, no, but I'm gonna be the one. Everybody else gave up. Everybody else quit. It's gonna be me. It's gonna be me. So it's like,
and the thing is that the recruiters treat you that way. They treat you like it's you. You are like, you got this. This is your destiny. This is your this. This is your that. So they hype you up to think that you're like a star. And it's like, no, they just told the same thing to the last person they talked to. And if you listen, they'll say the same thing to the next person they talk to.
And it's all copy and paste as well, especially when they're reaching out to you through like Facebook, Instagram. And
because if you've seen Illuminati, some of them, they forgot to even type in like your name. So it says, hey, name.
Yeah.
Like it literally says,
you're like, hey, you can't do that minimal amount. Also, if you spell my name with a C, I will cut you. Like, if you can't look at my fucking profile to figure out what my 4-letter name is and spell it right, get out of my face. I don't want to talk to you.
Yeah.
Like, you couldn't copy and paste my fucking name. Too.
Right?
It's true.
Like, not that
but
hard.
That's all of them operate that way. They all tell you they tell you to get yourself into debt. And this is people from like Herbalife. I saw something, I think I was on Netflix, a whole special about Herbalife. They were going to they nestled into India, but they were going to like poor Latino and Hispanic communities and just taking people's money, like basically just like tricking them into getting this product. And they would have there were people who had mountains of Herbalife product and they just didn't know how to move it. As it stands right now, I'm pretty sure that like most of the thrift stores around won't take LuLaRoe because all of those people just needed to get rid of it. So they were all going to thrift stores to try to sell it because, LuLaRoe wasn't taking it back anymore. And that was the other thing. Another big thing about MLMs is they can change their terms of service at any time, right? So you join, you buy the shit with their 100% money back guarantee, but they can change that at any point in time.
Got it. I've got Karen. I've got Aaron Lynn. I've got and what kills me is when people spell it wrong and they've emailed me, like at work. My email is Kara at blah, blah, blah. You typed it in to email me and you can't replicate that in the body of the goddamn message? What's wrong with you? Like, it drives me bananas. I'm like, fuck, it's not a hard name.
You just keep going.
When you find out that my full name is actually hyphenated, like I'm Kara-Lynn, holy fuck, people can't figure that out. And then my last name being Big Canoe prior to, like, holy Christ.
Yeah, I just wanted to show you my baby boy sleeping. Because did y'all see that? Like, I put that on Twitter. I'm like,
it's not Karen, damn it.
I mean, like, they don't stop, and it's so predatory, and like getting people out of it and out of that mindset is extremely difficult because they've built their whole identity around the idea that they'll be the one to make it, that they're going to do this thing, that they're going to be, there can be only one, and it's going to be them, regardless of the fact that they're constantly failing. And that's the worst part of it. And they feel like because the upline keeps telling them and saying, well, you're just not working hard enough. Well, you're not pretty enough. Well, you're not smiling enough. Well, if you got this done, well, if you did this, you need to look more successful, which is why these people are telling you all the time that they're on like a trip and that they're so happy. Like you'll see them, like, remember in the summer when we had that thing, when we had summer and people were doing things, but you remember that they would be at the pool in the middle of the day, just being like, I'm so lucky I get to live my life like this. And you're like, but you don't.
Some of them are posting pictures, like they're literally in labor and they're like, I'm still working from my phone. It's like, why the fuck are you still working from your phone when you're having a child? You're creating a human.
Yes.
What the fuck? Like, how desperate are you?
Hey, Lydia.
Oh my God, right into the cat books, Lydia. No, I forgot. Veronica showing her ass all the time.
She's very proud of that puffy pink ass.
He doesn't, but he's showing, like, he's just showing how sweet he is. Like, I've got his fat belly right here, and I'm like, oh, his fat belly. So, like, I'm rubbing him. I love him so much. He is like my entire world. Oh my God, stop being so cute with stretches. Yeah, I mean, they in persnickety, there's always that kind of mentality. So it's like, it's a breakdown of you as a person, right? Like any relationship, any kind of control that takes place, it doesn't take place by force. It doesn't take place by brute force. It is a bit of a slow process in which they start breaking you down. So like the first breakdown of your defenses is that interview. And then the second is when they take you off to like the whole rah-rah meeting, right? So if you're someone like me who's skeptical, that rah-rah meeting is designed to break down the skeptic. Because you sit there, like Kara said, and you go, maybe there's something wrong with me because I'm not excited. All these other people are excited. So you start to get excited, right? Then there's like the whole soft sell. They get you into that soft sell. They get you into like actually selling stuff, and you start feeling good about yourself because you're selling product. You're doing well. You didn't think you'd do well. You've never sold anything before. And the whole thing starts to build you up as a person.
Which is why you shouldn't sell.
Exactly. So they're slowly rebuilding you. And then as they move you into like the harder parts of it, it's easier for them to chip away at your self-esteem and chip away at who you are and insert who they want you to be. Yeah. So instead of them, once they start getting to that hard sale part of it, instead of it being like, you're doing great. Now they're like, well, you know, I've heard your sales pitch. Maybe you need to do this. Well, you know, I've seen your closet. Have you considered buying new clothes? It very quickly becomes a breakdown of you. And if somebody breaks you down like that, changes the way you dress, convinces you to get Botox, and again, there's nothing wrong with those things, but it's wrong when someone's convincing you to do things that you weren't going to do. So they've convinced you to have plastic surgery. They've convinced you to do all these things. It's very difficult for you to turn around and say, fuck this. It's not as easy as just being like, I'm getting taken advantage of. Bye.
Sorry, Veronica's doing the most. Look at her go.
She really is. She is doing the whole
so
most.
Distracted.
She's like all the cuddles.
I'm listening, but she's just like.
She's getting all the cuddles in. I love it.
So sweet.
Also, I just want to say, Lisa Marie, Amway is an MLM. Amway is an MLM.
Yes.
Also,
Amway is an MLM.
This is a thing. This happened. Somebody pretended to be dead to get a LuLaRoe dress.
Listen, people were doing some weird shit.
If you're dead, why do you need a dress?
For your funeral, ma'am.
Oh, fuck off! Like I'm getting buried in LuLaRoe. I'd rather be naked.
Yeah,
but like even the way they sell though is very cutthroat. Gets you in this like, listen, why do I have a gazillion pair of LuLaRoe leggings? It's like, it's fucking insane. I probably still have like 25 pair of these things. Don't look at me weird. Here's the thing. I was buying them for my friend, and somebody come get her. She's dancing like a stripper. We're gonna need to start adding that on a bingo card.
Bingo card.
Yeah, stripper song. Somebody come get her. But like even then, how they sell to you also like contributes to your own behavior, right? Because basically it's like an auction.
Can you imagine an anthropologist fucking like 300 years from now being like, it was a strange ritual these people had back in the day.
Wearing big ugly dresses with pockets. And while women love dresses with pockets,
loud patterns to scare off the locals.
Oh God, the patterns. Listen, I probably have some sitting over here that I'm just like, oh. But they're actually like cute when I wear them. It doesn't matter.
Hi, this is so-and-so's husband. She died in an accident. How can I get that dress she really wanted for her funeral?
You can buy it.
No.
I'm gonna be twirling up and scratching.
Like Keisha's getting right out of the scholar saying, "Nuck if you buck in here." But yeah, I mean, the entire thing is really it's not even just set up poorly for the sellers, but it's set up for your buyers, and that's how they get you to sell it. They say it has pockets.
I literally I had never heard of LuLaRoe until 5 months ago. I'd never heard of it. From what I've seen of it, I'm not interested. Just not.
Yeah, because Sam PRN, I wasted so much money on that shit. Every time I had a little bit of extra money, I was buying leggings because here was the thing: you could win. This is what I'm saying about the insanity that you start joining.
I can't because Aspen's in our bed, and I can't move her over to her own bed while he's awake.
You can put her on the right side of the bed, and I'll move her over later.
I'll just take the view.
Sorry, our son is still awake because why wouldn't he be?
I know he is just delightful.
He's something.
But it's they created a very frenzied feel as the buyer. So then even as a buyer, when you're seeing that, when the consultant approaches you about selling, you remember the feeling you had of wanting to get this print. You're like, oh my God, I want to get this one. I want to get this one. I'm going to be the first one. I'm going to do this. So because you remember that feeling, you think yeah, she's right. This would be a good business opportunity. This will be great because I see how we were all fighting for this. But you don't think about the fact that the market gets saturated so fucking fast. As soon as you start joining it, it's because as soon as they turn on the switch to say, we're mostly having people recruit because that's where all the money is. The real money is in the startup costs, not what you sell. So once they start hitting that level, you're not selling anything. Everybody in the room gets tired. You saw specifically with LuLaRoe, you saw consultants coming together because they had patterns that they couldn't sell. She had patterns she couldn't sell. They're hoping that by getting together, they will find a cross audience of somebody who will take these ugly fucking patterns that nobody wants. Somebody likes this ugly piece of shit. And then also Facebook, and I don't know if they still do, but there was a whole ass option where you could just invite other people to these Facebook groups, whether they wanted to come or not, didn't matter. You invited them into this Facebook group, and next thing you knew, they were in a LuLaRoe Facebook group because you wanted to win some leggings. Do you see that's how it worked? Invite friends in, and you're in put into a drawing. So that shit got insane, and it's just that kind of frenzied, crazy behavior. It gets everybody, right? Because even my dumbass was sitting there being maybe I should sell LuLaRoe.
Well, you get into the competitive spirit of it too, when it's stuff like that. That was at that Tony Robbins thing where they're go sign up now, first 200 people, and people are shoving people out of the way. Once you feed into that, people are oh, I need the auction thing. It's well, I need to win. It's look at what you're winning. It's not a prize, my friend.
You're winning a pile of shit, and you ran over somebody to get to the front. Oh wait, Keisha's talking all Lux in the chat. Side note: the Shantikai Foundation is 12 hours in without touch-ups and still the same.
Never tried it.
Stop it.
I love
that powder.
I can't be spending any more money, Keisha, on more makeup. I'm buying too much makeup.
That and fucking running stuff. Now I've fallen down the rabbit hole of that.
Yeah, so it's just I mean, those are my thoughts on MLMs. It's always if you know somebody who's selling it, don't buy it, and if they continue to be aggressive, just block them because continuing because they're not going to listen to any dialogue you have until after they get out. If they get out, they're not going to listen. You have to get them out.
And they're armed with the response for it from their uploads. So they're
because they're giving them everything.
Why are you trying? There's no point arguing with that.
Yeah, because they've been inundated. Like Kara said, their upline has the answers. They've already heard it all, so they know exactly what to tell you. They're and you know what? Your friends and family are going to say, "You're crazy. Why are you wasting your money like this?" They've already planted the seeds of what we're all going to say to them in their head, and they're "See, Like it's like in those soap operas where it's like, I knew you were gonna say this. You know what I mean? They told me you were gonna say this.
No, like, don't talk to your husband about this. Just do this. This is for you. Mm-hmm. You're doing it for your family. You don't need his permission. It's like, well, I don't need his permission, but if I'm gonna spend $5,000 from a joint account, I think I'd like to run that by it. Like, I wouldn't go out and buy like a $200 microwave without talking to my husband about it first. It's not that I need permission. It's just that's what partnership is.
Yeah. Meanwhile, they're convincing you to hide your money. Like, let's take it.
Right?
That whole mindset
if he
too,
goes on
like,
vacation,
nobody believes you. Nobody believes you. Like, don't trust. Like, they're all rooting against you, but like, I'm rooting for you. It's like, that's where it goes to cult, because they're literally isolating you. That's why it's like abusive and cultish, because they're isolating you. They're telling you your friends, your husband, your wife, your family, they're all wrong, and your upline is the only person, and the MLM community you're in are the only people that believe in you. That isolation technique is what abusers and cults use.
Can you imagine going to a legitimate job though, where they say to you, like, people are going to shit all over you for having this job, but I believe in you. Like, that's not a real thing. That's because there's a reason why everybody's like, you shouldn't be doing this. Like, there's more pride in actually being a sex worker than being in an MLM. Like,
seriously.
It's, and
agreed.
Sex
work should be legal. MLM should be illegal.
Absolutely. And I think it's starting, like, and that's one of their big things is like, pyramid schemes are illegal. And if it was illegal, we wouldn't be able to do this. It's like, well, like, murder's illegal, but it still happens. Like, it's legal until you're caught. So I know that there have been some findings on some of these MLMs where they have been found and they have been required to make restitution. Just because it hasn't happened to all of them doesn't mean that if they have the exact same goddamn business model that it's not going to happen to them. Sex work could be an MLM though. True that. Sorry. Yeah, if you're told to hide anything, it's a huge red flag. And if you're told like, if you're given an arsenal of responses for when people shit all over what it is that you're doing, there's a reason that people are going to shit over all over what you're doing. You need to look behind the curtain.
Yeah.
What the hell happened to Audra?
Network problems. Although she did just start.
I might take the stupid thing off. I can't get my hair to.
Wait, what's going on?
What is going on?
Oh, she's responding to like an old Marco Polo I sent. I thought it was like pertinent. I'm just like, what's going on?
What?
Oh,
I feel like I'm too drunk for what's happening right now. What is going on?
Okay, she's fixing network problems.
Gotcha.
Oh.
Yeah, and Stampin' PRN makes a good
point. Am I like moving and functioning now or no?
Sort of. You're buffering.
Am I here yet or no?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Stampin' says they act like
it's exactly what they do.
Stop selling and then
I'm so sorry. It's just so sorry, y'all. It's being weird because of where I am. Almost everybody is still quarantined, so some of they had gone home and now they're not. Like they had gone to work and now they're not really going back to work. It's a weird situation, so it's messy.
Kara, you're not too drunk. Not with Rami here. I can vouch for that from what I saw on Saturday. Yeah, exactly. Breakdown of community organizations and feeling more isolated. Cincy, they talked about being award winning, but their awards are from things like direct sales associations. Yeah. But award winning doesn't mean shit anyway. Like anyone can give you an award and then you can say
depends on where the award's coming from. If like friggin' LuLaRoe is handing out the award,
what I'm gonna do is
LuLaRoe award, then it doesn't really mean much.
Agreed, Tracy. Looking behind the curtain is something you should do in both MLMs and sex work.
Absolutely. Sorry, I'm trying to catch up with the comments myself. I got very confused there with Audra.
But yeah, this is what companies will do. They won't tell you the company name before your webinar or your interview, so you can't Google it. So it's just like, yeah, if someone's being cagey, no.
Ramen.
See, this is why I agree, Rami, because that's why I'm like, I don't even care if it's from the Oscars or the Emmys. I'm like, they're all like bullshit racist organizations that are just patting themselves on the back.
So, absolutely. We could like make a fake friggin' award and hand it out. Like, what credibility does that have?
Yes, the Allure Best of Beauty Awards. Where did that come from? Who's actually reviewing it? How are they testing it? It's the thing is with magazines. I feel like beauty magazines and fashion magazines are so blatantly just like being paid to feature things.
Mm-hmm.
It's not even.
It's like a trend.
I feel like the descriptions they don't even try.
Whoever paid her the most. Like it's not
exactly.
It's your purchasing. Okay, so fun fact. There's this thing called like 3 best. So there's like 3 best lawyers, 3 best veterinarians, whatever. Our firm is one of the 3 best lawyers only because we made a donation. You can buy it. And there it is. Like that's what it is. So, and that's the same with this stuff. And then they shove it all over Sephora and they claim that they've won this award as being Allure. And why is Allure the say all be all or the be all end all? Whatever. I'm drunk.
Allure gets on my nerve.
They do give their methodology, but they wait, where the chat just jumped so much. Where was that? Oh, but since they accept ads, I'm not falling for it. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. The JD Power Awards. Yeah, exactly.
Sure, Keisha. You're our perfect angel. That's for sure.
That's the thing. We could give out an award to every single one of you guys in the comments right now. And it's like, okay, that might mean something to you individually, but like from an actual marketing perspective or from an actual whatever perspective, like what does it really mean?
Yeah. I mean, you know what, Lydia, a lot of people didn't know about JD Power the way that there's so many awards that we don't really know about. And these motherfuckers just be like, winner of the JD Power. And honestly, the first time I even paid attention to it was several years ago when I'd be watching car commercials. I'm like, how can they win the JD Power? And then they also won, like, who's winning? I don't understand this.
Yeah.
So, yes, just add award winning to your CV. There you go.
You can literally, like, the world is made up. Like, that's what it is.
Yeah.
You can kind of make shit up. Like, if you went to college but you don't have to tell me when are they going to ask you for your degree?
Well, it's
when are they going to ask you to see it?
3 best.
Like, you just be like, yep, graduated.
Who is going out and ranking the law firms, and what criteria would you use to like? It's fucking family law. There are no winners in family law. It's everybody's divorcing. So like, how would you actually objectively rank different lawyers to determine who's the best? Like you can't, it doesn't.
You could not. Okay, like it's impossible. So it's just like, I mean, even the small, like the logistics company I worked for, they were like, we're in this magazine. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Like,
well, it's like
they tell me that and I'm like, what is that doing for me?
That's going to depend on who you ask. Somebody who has runny eyes is going to like something different than me. Like, Emily, you use waterproof mascara. You would have to literally pay me a lot of money to use waterproof mascara because I hate that shit. Does that mean it's a terrible product? No, it just means for me it is. But like it's there's no objective criteria for that kind of thing. I don't even know what we're talking about awards for. I've lost track of the conversation. I'm so sorry.
Because MLMs will say they're award winning, but they're just like they get direct sales awards.
You gave yourself
my favorite
for you.
My favorite like line about the world that has stuck with me since I used to watch old school Whose Line Is It Anyway is it's all made up and the points don't matter. The entire world is all made up, and in the long run the points don't matter. So awards are made up. All the shit that we live our lives by is often just made up.
Oh yeah.
So, I'm laughing at
it. Like
there's nobody totally in no crying in baseball.
Right? I mean,
nobody wins in family law.
So like, you'll see like older generations get mad and be like, "Oh, when we were growing up, they didn't have trophies for everything." I'm like, "Yeah, but when you were growing up, like racial slurs were pretty common." You know what I mean? So it's like it's a weird thing to say, but it's like they didn't understand the reason for having done this because essentially what they started to realize is that like the self-esteem of a child is far more important than they ever really knew, right? And they saw several generations grow up and realize, wow, ooh, their formative years are way more important than we thought. So it's like, yes, we do, because like, and even I had that mindset, right? But then I had to stop and think about it, but like, yes, there is first, second, and third place, and then they have their various random trophies. The kids know that like this trophy isn't the same as the one that everybody's super excited about. They know that. But you didn't break down their like fragile selves of trying to do something, right? Like they wanted to play baseball, they wanted to play soccer, whatever it was. But instead of you breaking them, be like, well, you know, if you want to win, you got to be first, second, or third. What you did was say like, you played and you did a good job. Thank you.
Yeah,
exactly. So you played, you did a good job. You know, you guys, like if you were the suckiest team there, it's like, you guys were the most fun and had the best spirit. And so they have a spirit award for you. Do you know what I mean? So people realize very quickly that if you're not number one, it wasn't about winning or losing. It was about understanding and persevering that even if you're not number one, you're still worthwhile. You are still worth something. Because obviously that changes.
Welcome back, T.
Because like, yeah, obviously that changes when you get older, right? You start getting into higher grades and they start removing those additional trophies. But the reason that they were put into place, obviously, was to make sure that kids are fragile, and they realize that like that was fucking kids up in a way that they did not comprehend. And it was also making parents really shitty in a way that they had not comprehended. So the hope was that by doing this, it would allow both parties to get something good.
Also, I agree with Lydia. Some victim blamey shit to blame us getting trophies instead of the adults handing them out. Like,
correct.
Blame the kids for getting the things rather than the adults if you don't like the system.
Well, yeah, because it's like, listen, so like I'm a cusper, I guess, because I'm like right on the cusp of Gen Z, Gen X, and millennial, and like I knew the world was burning when I was a teenager, and like I, you know what, Gen Z is something else. Like y'all need to watch. These kids do not give a fuck. Okay, they do not care.
Keisha, thank you. I like my participation rewards in the form of money. All accolades can go to my Cash App.
Same.
Exactly why I have all of that in the details of every video. I'm just like, pay me. You pay me. Yeah. I don't need a ceremony, I promise. Exactly.
Well,
Here's the thing is,
man.
like, I think the concept of participation awards can be good and can be bad, but I think it's like a balance. It's like if you're always getting an award, if you're always getting a gift at someone else's birthday and there's no discipline, there's no counterbalance, then yeah, that's going to lead to some fucked up people. Yes. But if you're just like encouraging kids in certain activities so that they don't lose, like so they don't feel discouraged or disheartened, I think that's a little different.
Well, and the thing is, I think participation trophy is a misnomer because that's not really how they hand them out. What they do is they normally come up with various other categories so that everybody, like also everyone gets some kind of trophy, right? So exactly. Thank you, Thorn.
So Thorn said, my parents used to tell me not to bring a trophy home unless it's first place, which is how I became a broken, obsessive perfectionist who can't do anything anymore. Screw that mentality. Exactly.
Yeah. Because I think that people say like, oh, it's a participation trophy, but it really isn't, because what I often saw was that, and still continue to see, is that they give awards for like most spirit. They give awards for like having shown up to the most games. They give, like, there's a lot more to it. We just say participation because we're upset that everybody's getting all of these awards. But it does make sense because your formative years are your most important. When you have a 7-year-old playing baseball, being a shit to them, like now isn't the time to teach them life lessons.
I like that they give them out based on like character traits. It's like this one, like an empathy award and like a cooperation award or something like that. And I like that.
Yes.
But yeah, just being like, hey, you came in last in the race, but my God, you were on the field. And
yeah, and that's why I say, I'm like, it's not, they don't actually, like, we call them participation trophies because we think that, like, it's funny to say it that way, but they usually have categories for it. And the point is to continue to have the kids build up, because who the fuck wants to play again if you're just like, well, I'm always losing. I'm always losing.
I agree with this.
Participation trophies. No, and she is a good girl.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I guarantee you those kids know what's up. Go ahead.
Yeah. Oh no, just say the participation trophies still cause me unease, but not because the concept is strong, because of the way parents handle it is so wrong. Exactly.
Yeah.
Parents are the ones that make
Tracy.
Little liar.
and also, as somebody who doesn't have kids, doesn't want kids, I don't necessarily know the right way to handle your child getting a participation trophy. I just know I've seen a lot of bad parents.
I like her face right now. It's so funny. She's like,
"Oh, it's like a little half smile." Yeah,
I know.
She's wildly uncomfortable sitting on my lap, but she's also loving the attention. So she's like, I don't know if I like this. I'm conflicted. Hey, you're such a good girl.
Yes, the forced individualism is a serious issue. So it's like we push this very idea, like as dumb as it is, if you ain't first, you're last. You know what I mean? So we push a very our very this, and this actually does stem into MLMs, right? Because this narrative that, to be the best, you have to do the best, you have to work hardest, you have to do a hustle this, hustle that, side gig, boss babe. All of this stuff is designed to make you as an individual feel so fucking special, right? Yeah. But I can't be that much more special than the person next to me. So we hold people on these pedestals. We look at celebrities. Like, this is why we have that weird ass relationship still with the royal family in England. Why the fuck do we care?
Why? Watchers.
Yeah, we have all these weird relationships, but why? Because it's like, you look at somebody and you're like, oh, well, Meghan Markle was normal, and then she married into royalty, and she's the best. These ideas of exceptionalism, especially if you're an American and in American exceptionalism, it is this is just as bad. And that's how these cults really get a hold of you, is it's like, you're exceptional. And you're like, I'm exceptional.
Yes. But everybody across the board is equally exceptional, which then makes you question things.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah.
Alex might be onto something. I think there are parallels between parents getting mad at kids for getting participation trophies and non-progressive folks who don't care about wealth disparity. You want there to be winners and losers. Exactly. Yeah. You want people to feel bad for not doing as well as you. Most people that are mad about participation trophies want to be the winner, and they want those that are not winners to feel like shit for not winning.
Correct. But you have plenty of time for that. You there's really zero reason to have 7-year-olds feeling like shit, because that's where they throw it down. Although I do think it's weird that there's a graduation ceremony now every fucking year, because I'm like, how does that make your high school graduation special if you're just graduating every year?
Yeah, Aspen had a senior kindergarten graduation. It was really cute, but really?
Yeah, that is one thing that I don't agree with. I'm like, why the fuck are you doing that? I didn't want to graduate when I graduated. So
I've had clients arguing over grade 6 graduations and getting the nails done for their 11-year-olds, and I'm like, this is really weird. And why are we fighting? You're paying a lawyer to fight over a fake graduation dress. Just let that sit here for a moment.
Not as far as I know, Rami, is the people that I know who have kids, the trophies that they are getting are literally funniest team, most spirited team. They're actually coming up with various awards that are different from and that's why I say the kids know the difference between who got first, second, and third, and then they know the rest. That's how it that's the hierarchy. The hierarchy. These kids got a big ass trophy. These kids got a kind of okay trophy. And these kids got a little trophy. And then now you get ribbons. Everybody else gets fucking ribbons. So it's not, they're not just everybody else who came, here you go. They're actually doing thought into giving you different superlatives. But they're not really trophies. A lot of them are ribbons. But the point is for the rest of the kids to feel like they did well. They did well enough. Appreciate you for playing. And
I love that.
And then those kids come back, right? And they either not all of them, but some of them come back, they try harder because the actual trophy is the fucking point. You want that. Nobody goes to get the fucking little stupid ass ribbon. You want to get the shiny trophy that the other kids got. And that motivation is still there. It's not taken away because you got a ribbon. In fact, the ribbon is the thing that made you be like, fuck this ribbon. Like, you're looking at, fuck this ribbon. I want that trophy, right? Like, I want the shiny trophy that the kids over there are doing a whole ass dance and they're cheering, because those ribbon kids are not doing the same cheer. I've seen enough of these little stupid things. Those little ribbon kids they're not doing the same cheers. They're like,
good night, Sherry.
Yeah.
Good night, Sherry.
Good night, Sherry.
So a lot of it is very much like those kids are like, yay. And the only reason they even get remotely excited is because the parents finally go, we'll take you for pizza. And they're like, yay! But honestly,
I love that.
up until that point, they were like not about it because like they saw the other kids celebrating the win. And that's the thing is like you're still giving them the motivation, but you're not leaving them feeling like complete and total abject losers like we did in the 80s, which wasn't really good for us. Now, was it? Look how bitter we are. Like,
thank you, Angela. Going back to the side hustle thing, just know I'm tired. I don't need another job to do my free time. Tax billionaires and just pay everyone more at their regular jobs. Tax corporations, tax billionaires. There's so much lost tax money.
Hustle. I really hate that term.
It's the
fucking worst. Motivation and mental health to like do my actual hustle. I don't have anything left in the tank for a side hustle.
Well, and my mom told Mary Kay, and she told me, she's like, it was just too much. Like, they wanted me to do too much stuff. My mom's she like worked full time. Like, she did it, I think, 2 different times. One when she was actually in the military, the other when she got out. It's just too much. They want too much from you. They want you to throw fucking like back then, like they wanted you to throw parties, and then it was like going to someone's house throwing a party. It's like, who wants to spend their time like that? You know, Thorne, I had something to say about breaking your knee, but like I let that go. I let that go. It was an easy joke, but I stood back from it.
Nobody should be allowed to accumulate
it was a good easy joke.
Billions of dollars.
And here's the thing, like, you got to think about why this is going to go too far, but I'm going to say it anyway. You got to think about why poor people, poor people think that they have more in common with rich people than they do with poor people. It's because they don't know they're poor, right? This country, like, there's a lot of money. Yeah, well, it's that, but we have a lot of money wrapped up in debt. Right? You have a nice car, even though you live in a nice neighborhood, but you are strapped living there. So you don't think that you're poor. You're like, I'm not poor. And they give you that whole, they hit you with the whataboutisms. What about one day when you're rich? Do you really want to have to give up some of your money? Do you really want to have, yes, you should. What the fuck are you going to do with it? If I were suddenly like crazy, independently wealthy.
What are you doing with $1 billion?
I don't have kids. Right? I can't take it with me. I'm going to use as much of it as I possibly can to help everybody around me. As long as I'm comfortable in it, like, I'm fine.
Oh my God.
I just don't see the point. Like, I want to help people around me. If I can just buy a building.
Do not have more money than you could possibly ever use. Like, what are you doing? You already own the property. You own the helicopter. You own every fucking toy that you could possibly have. What are you doing with all this accumulated wealth? Except looking like a giant.
And also, some small chunk of your wealth can be invested and you'll make your money back over and over and over again. So you could literally get rid of the other 80%, 90%, if I'm being generous, and you would be fine. I also wanted to go back. Yeah, I agree. Billionaires should not exist.
No.
I also just wanted to go back and say there was a conversation in the chat between like Thorne, Alex, Tracy, Feffy about basically like always saying, sorry I exist, sorry I take up so much space. Sorry, I'm like anything. Sorry, I've ever bragged. I really hope we all know, please don't apologize for your existence. Don't apologize for your personality. Don't apologize for the space you take up. And obviously that doesn't happen overnight, but just remember that, one, if you have friends or family that do that, like, tell them like, hey, you don't have to apologize for that. Like, you don't have to say sorry. And also, like, just know that you deserve the space and time that you take, and your personality is what it is because you're fucking amazing. Everyone in this chat is fucking amazing.
Absolutely.
There's my little pep talk.
You guys show up.
Yeah, I mean, because it's very difficult. Like, so one of the things I started doing is even if I'm
still a thing. Tracy.
Oh yeah, we're still trying to eat them. Like, we are.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing is essentially what they've done is and I say this repeatedly, and because I can't say it enough, by removing education and basically breaking it the fuck down to where only the elite have good access to good education, good information, and they're the only ones who can really access higher education. By dumbing down America and leaving us all to like, have to find information, you have to want to find the information. So these people begin to see, like, even if you look at Obama, these people looked at him and they felt like he was elite. He went to a Ivy League school. He used big words. Before that, you had George W. and he didn't use all those big words. He did go to an Ivy League school, but he pretended like he was just one of the Americans. Like, hey, you guys, I'm one of you. And I don't fault him for that.
Drink the beer with.
Yeah, but that's the difference between the two sides, right? Like one side can very much play to the uneducated and who refuse to educate themselves. They're uneducated and refuse, and they're scared by anyone who has any intelligence. And that's why they say dumb shit like, your opinion's your opinion. And you're like, well, no, these are facts. So like, whatever, you're entitled to your opinion. And then they'll like give you weird, like random, like articles from, Johnny Boy's fucking news page. And you're like, this isn't real news. And like, yeah, it is. I'm in the know. You just don't know. I don't trust the mainstream media. And you're like, all right, dude.
When you have statistics to back up the point that you're making, it's not an opinion. It's a
correct
fact. And if you don't agree with that fact, you don't like that fact, or that fact makes you uncomfortable, that still doesn't transition it into being an opinion. It's still a fact. It's just a fact that you don't like.
I also just want to say, Steffi, this is so fucked up, and I'm sorry you went through that.
Yeah.
That's all. That's all I. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck George W. Also, welcome, Kat, Rent a Fashion.
Hey.
Kat watching these at work, so thank you for the rewatch. I appreciate it.
I got a kick out of Keith's responsibility. What not the I take responsibility is going on. That fucking killed me.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Kara.
Take responsibility.
I take responsibility.
I love that they only gave Asha fucking 3 words though, because she couldn't even do that. I take responsibility. Cue card. Are you kidding? Put the dope down for just a moment. Focus.
But to T's point right quick, no, they do not create wealth. I'll tell you just a quick thing. I randomly did some quick calculations on having wealth. The average American, get ready for this, most of us are never going to make more than $75,000 a year. Okay, I'm not saying over your lifetime. I'm saying a year. We're gonna be lucky to get $75,000 because of the way the system's set up to continue is like the same entry level pay has been the same since I was in college, and it's between $30,000 and $36,000. Everything else has gone up, and that is still your entry level pay. How the fuck are you going to build wealth when you've already started with $60,000 in debt? And that's just being like, let's just say you didn't have to take $60,000 and your $30,000 is what you're going to make your first year. Oh, you can't pay anything.
Okay.
So the whole point is, and why these corporations right now are so fucking eager to get people back in the office is because they realize that so many people have been productive as fuck at home, and they don't need that. Okay, they don't actually need you to be productive at home. They need you in the office so that you can be less productive, so that they don't have to pay you. Okay, that's the point of you being in the office. Is you're not productive. Most of us do approximately 3 hours worth of work when we're in the office. When you're home, you do that same 3 hours, but it's uninterrupted. Boom, it's done. Then you have nothing. But they can't watch you. So it's just like it's
also
fucked
productivity is a fucking myth. Fuck productivity.
Yeah.
Don't like judging yourself on how much work you can get done. I've said this, I feel like over and over again. It's a tool of capitalism. You're only valuable because you're making things, you're doing things. Fuck that.
Yeah. Behind every great fortune is a great crime. Every great fortune has a great crime.
Yeah. Rich people don't get rich by giving their money away.
No.
Yeah, no.
And they didn't get rich by being nice to anybody. Like they didn't get there by being kind. They got there by stepping on people. Like their family, their grandfather, great-grandfather got there by stomping on somebody to get there. They stole something from, like there's usually a great theft in someone's great fortune. So like they stole something from someone else and they made it theirs and the other person didn't get to like say like, it was me.
To Raman's point here, I can only speak to lawyers. I don't know about doctors and engineers, but there's a lot of integrity goes behind what they earn as well. So, I mean, I practice in a relatively small town. It's not small, but 130,000 people or so. And you get to know the lawyers. You get to see, like, when we argue stuff, you get to see their bills of costs and what they're charging and what they're docketing for and all of that. And integrity speaks. And the people who have none, they're the ones that are making the most money because they will charge for everything and they don't give a fuck. And it's disgusting. And then I have the people. So there's
they're like literally charging you for the pen that you use to sign some shit. They're like, oh, that's
this is part of the reason why I own my own firm is because I couldn't deal with that kind of thing. Where at a previous firm I was at, they were bringing in a business coach who's like, even if you're just walking to the file to like the filing cabinet to get the file, you should be charging that person. Like that's not worth a $30 walk. Like I'm sorry, but it's not. And seeing what other lawyers charge and then hearing that they tell people at a consultation to pay them by taking out another mortgage on their head, like it's disgusting. It's disgusting. And it just takes me back to that whole MLM thing of like, well, just put it on a credit card. Like go into that so that you can be part of this wonderful opportunity. Like, no.
Yeah. Because like I will say it all the time. I will say it like to the mountains. College is a scam. Not the act of learning, but how much it costs is a scam. There's zero reason for you to have gone to all of that fucking schooling. All of it. You went to school for 12 years and then you come to college after you've taken an SAT, you fucking done all of this shit to prove that you can come to their school. And what do when you start? They're like, first you're going to do the basics. And you're like, why the fuck am I doing basics? I swear I just took a test telling you I know how to do this shit. Like, why are we doing this? And they're like, well, because we want to take your money. And it's not even just that they want to take your money. They want to make sure that those of us who don't have money have zero opportunity to build wealth. That is the point. We can't build any wealth because as soon as you're out of college, you have a mountain of debt behind you. You're going to spend your life paying this debt. So there's no way for you to build wealth to be able to pass down to your family. Even if you have a good insurance policy, it's not enough. Yeah. And so generation after generation after generation, we just don't have, like, we can't build wealth to fight the system the way we want to. And that's why we're setting all their shit on fire. And on that note, I'll be right back.
Are you going to go set some shit on fire?
I wanted...
Maybe.
And I would say, workaholism is not rewarded. A complete lack of ethics is. And I wanted to say, so I saw in the chat Keisha asking cultural question for white women in the chat, if y'all don't mind, and then asked, are self-deprecating comments the norm at home? Is that like, are self-deprecating comments taught at home? Is that like the norm? I will say in my experience, I don't know if it's taught. It's taught though, because in my experience, basically both my aunts and my mom were never happy with their body. So they were almost always talking down about their body. And a lot of times for me, it also translated to me. And so, but even if you weren't like, well, no, I mean, in my experience, that's what happened, is that like my mom was never, like, rarely ever happy with her body. I was just talking to Bethany about this actually today. And so even if she had never said anything about my body, I knew she didn't like hers. And she would always make jokes about it or talk about it, or maybe not even make jokes about it. She may not have been all witty about it, but she would always just talk about it and kind of minimize herself. And so I think that's where a lot of the self-deprecation comes from, because I was kind of shown like, it's not important unless you look good and you're cute and you don't weigh that much. Like those were the important things.
She was always on.
Yeah, exactly.
And that was one thing, like when I had my surgery, I was like, I've got a daughter and I have to consider what the impact of that's going to be on her. And when I talk about it in terms of gaining health. Because like she can see the difference and like she sees the pictures, the before and afters and things like that. And she's like, you look a lot different, Mommy. I'm like, I know, I've gained so much health. And, now we get to walk together. We get to, we walked to the store together today and stuff like that. But I tried very hard not to talk about numbers in front of her. I tried very hard not to talk about losing weight because I don't want her carrying that with her. She came out a couple months ago saying like, Mommy, I want to go on a diet. I want to eat lots of salads. And I'm like, oh my fuck, you're 7. What the shit? Because diet's not, I don't view myself as being on a diet. And I'm like, a 7-year-old should not know what that word is. And so like, I kind of fleshed it out with her and she's like, I just want to eat healthy. I'm like, okay, we can eat healthy, but we're going to eat balanced and this and that. And I'm like, oh my fucking God, you're too young for that. It's horrible.
Yeah. I mean, for me, and I'm trying to watch the chat too, just to highlight, but I'm like also kind of not lost, but like there's so many good things happening in the chat that it's hard to highlight one thing.
I've seen comments too that I'm like Yolanda was talking about making more money, not working in the office than any work she's done. Yeah. And that's so true. I was saying that to you guys, I think in Marco Polo, where I was like, I might just keep working only during the mornings because I'm more productive. If I have a full 8-hour day to fuck around and be like, oh, well, I got lots of time to get this done, then I wait and then I get it done in the last crunch. So I may as well just shorten my time in the office. That's the joy of owning my own office. And then I'm free in the afternoons to do the shit that I really want to do.
So, oh my gosh, I saw this from Thorne. My mother told me to stop eating and then yelled at me when I listened. So I was born fat, and I was basically, and all this is the top of my brain because I literally I've been Marco Poloing with Bethany. We were talking, we've just been talking. And so I kind of told her some of my story. It's like, I was put in Weight Watchers in elementary school. In Weight Watchers, like maybe 5th grade or 4th grade. I was in and out of it throughout.
Shame on Weight Watchers as well for allowing that.
Yes.
Like, literally.
But it's also partially my family, my parents.
Absolutely. So, they're the ones that did it, but they're like there's a two-way street there.
Oh, absolutely. So that was like from the beginning. And so it was, for me, it was always about like, my body was never right. I was always too big. I was always too this, too that. And it was always framed as like health, but that's not what, that wasn't the focus. Like it was, but it wasn't. Like, obviously if your parents, you want your children to like live forever, but it was framed in health, but it was really all about the weight. It was not about, do you feel healthy? Do you feel better? It's like, have you lost weight? Did you like, what's like, where are you at? And
what sets the focus is so fucking hard.
And honestly, so I told Kara this. I had gastric bypass in like, it's been like over 10 years ago. It was probably 13 years ago. I basically had it because I felt like that was what I was supposed to do. Like from family.
And that's so like with, not to interrupt you, but like with my channel, like when I talk about it, because I get a ton of DMs from people that are like, you think I should do this? And I'm like, I can't make that call for somebody because that has to be something that you decide for yourself. Like you can't, how am I going to say to a stranger I've never met, like, hey, this surgery would be perfect for you. That makes me no better than these MLM friends. You know
and I mean, I was an adult, so in some ways, yes, I made a decision myself, but I feel like a lot of feelings about things like self-deprecation, how you talk about yourself, how you view yourself, apologizing for the space you take up, and like now I'm finally in a place where I'm just like, if I'm not at least happy, because I talk about like thinking about body positivity and fat liberation, and I think about like fat liberation, just to get on my little soapbox, is like, and maybe body liberation is about like not loving or hating your body, but just being like, it's my body, it is what it is, it carries me through the day. And I'm like, if I'm not loving myself, at least I'm not hating myself, I'm not talking down about myself. So that goes back to the self-deprecation, where I'm not like shit talking the look of myself because it's just like, oh, that's all I have. So anyway, so self-deprecation, I think for a lot of women, that's what this all came from, is a huge part of our life.
Well, and I call it like the 8 Mile effect, right? Like, basically, if you've ever seen the movie 8 Mile, Eminem's shining moment in that movie is where when he does his rap, he basically says everything that the other guy would throw at him. So the other guy has no power. And it first comes across as like you see that movie, you're like, yeah, fuck it. And to a degree, it is empowering to take, something that you think someone's going to say to you and be able to be like, I beat you there. But the other problem with it is like, you do hurt yourself by talking poorly about yourself. It's why on our Marco Polos, I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm weird. I'll stop being weird. Like for now, not forever. You know what I mean? And I've started really changing the way that I say that. Cause I know I'm a weirdo. I need to I'm not going to keep apologizing for being who I am. So instead I'm just
because of who you are, not in spite.
Yeah, exactly. And I just wanted to say thank you. I'm sorry I went on, I'm sorry. I went on my own little story because I felt like I needed to, I wanted to share it. But I do think there's something there to talk about self-deprecation within women and allyship and I do think sometimes self-deprecation is, it's a slippery slope.
I hate using that term slippery slope because it always sounds like a cop-out, but it is between self-deprecation into self-loathing. It's a short distance. Yeah. And I can say that because I've traveled that distance and now I'm on the other side. But where you start off with just making jokes at yourself and then you internalize that and it becomes vicious in your own head. Yeah. It holds you back from moving forward. And it's horrible. It's horrible to wake up and the first thing you think about is how much you hate yourself.
Yeah, it is. I mean, and that's one of the reasons I'm so it's so dumb. I mean, it's not dumb. It's actually fabulous. It's one of the reasons why I'm so adamant about having great skincare and taking care of my skin, because I wanted to reach a stage in my life where I loved how I looked without makeup, where I was still like, bitch, you killing it. Look at your glowing ass skin. I wanted to get to a stage where I didn't feel like to go somewhere, I had to put my face on. Mm-hmm. And I'm at that stage now because I'm taking care of my skin you guys see me doing this shit. I take care of my skin like crazy and it makes me feel better all the time. Not because I'm using expensive products or it's because I'm taking care of myself. And I'm doing it for me. I'm not doing it for anybody else. I'm doing it because I want to walk around without having to do all this and feel comfortable. And I'm glad I'm at that stage in my life.
And that's how I feel about the active lifestyle that I'm starting to incorporate, is that it's not I go on runs without the idea of okay, if I run, then I'm going to lose weight. I run because I enjoy doing it. And I like the sense of accomplishment that I get at the end of it to be holy fuck, look what I just did. And it's the same kind of thing. If you can find something that empowers you without having this ultimate goal of changing yourself, it's just a part of you. Yeah. I think that really, it means something. And it's really important to find what that is for yourself.
Yeah, it is. It's far more important to really, because when you're talking about ally, Pollyanna Palooza said, someone has to call you an ally, because there's people who have a weird, because I've been talking about this a little bit. I even talked to Emily today and I was like, I'm fucking tired of allies right now. And I don't mean it to be shitty, but the reason I'm tired is because to be honest, where were a lot of these motherfuckers before? Where were you before? And I don't want to be a negative person, but there's a part of me that's just where were you before when all of this was happening? Because there's people I know who've been doing this and fighting for this and fighting for it, even in beauty, fighting for inclusivity in beauty, fighting for brands to do it right. They've been doing it, right? And then now all of a sudden we have all these people showing up with their full face of, Black-owned brands. And I'm like, you didn't give a fuck about Black-owned brands, though, before. You weren't even using this shit. Now all of a sudden you have a full face of it. I'm so confused. But then you look in, the smaller community, these people have been using it. These small companies, these small channels have been using Black-owned brands. They've been doing this shit. So to have these people who have bigger channels coming up and be like, I'm an ally, I want to be a good ally. And I'm like, but you aren't, because when you said repeatedly, every time this brand releases some shit, you look at it and you go, well, the shade range isn't inclusive, but you're still buying from the brand. You're still repping the brand. You're still putting their shit on your fucking channel. Yeah. I don't care that you talk about it. It means nothing to me because of I mean, that would be like if I cheated on my man and he was like, don't cheat on me again. And I was like, okay, but I kept doing it. Like, what is it doing? Like, I'm not actually solving any problems. So it just really bothers me when people are doing like this whole, and I don't think it's all performative. I think people are just like coming to a realization, I guess. I don't know how they didn't know, but okay.
Yeah.
But it's wearing me out seeing them talk about it. That's all. And like, it's making me very tired.
Okay. And I mean, I think going to with what Keisha was saying, it's like, even before you expanded on this in your previous comment, Keisha, I thought about that, where I'm like, so much of the conversations that I hear, thankfully not necessarily within my community of like, meaning my close friends and things like that, but circling outwards, there's a lot of white people, especially white women, being like, I'm sorry I didn't know, or I'm sorry I did this wrong, or I can't do anything right. And like what Keisha's saying, it's like Black people are then stuck with the task of like soothing the fragile white woman who's so sad that she didn't do it right, when the reality is that the conversation shouldn't be about, like, I mean, yes, it should be about what you're doing wrong as white people, your racist actions, but not about sad you. I'm so sorry for you. You did it so, like, I'm doing it so wrong. It's just like, yeah. And then Black women are expected to handle things, but white women are told, take your self-care times, detach if you need to. But also for a lot of Black people, they don't have the option to detach.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, and that's why, like, you guys, I mean, I'm sure you guys have seen it, like my normal activity on social media where I used to like respond immediately and all this stuff. It's now hours before, because I'm tired. I'm really, really tired, because one thing a lot of us probably haven't said, a lot of us Black women, a lot of us persons of color, a lot of us haven't said, is like, this is reopening tons of wounds for lots of us. Wounds that we thought like had healed, things that we didn't remember, like we pushed so far down. And it's like, the more people are coming out and apologizing and saying all of these wounds are reopening. And it's like, this is why we're all just kind of like, this is, I mean, I can't speak for everybody, but I feel like a large amount of us, this is why we're just fucking sitting back at times, just being like, I don't fucking feel like it. Like, no, I don't want it. Like, I'll make my videos, but I really don't want to talk about it as much as I normally do, because I'm exhausted. Like, I'm so tired. Like, I get up every day and it's like, exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I did wrong. Please educate me. Exactly. Like, the conversation should not be how you're going to ask Black people to tell them how they're wrong and how they should be right.
Yeah, like, it's just annoying. I'm like, when people do that, I'm like, you don't get to tell me that I can't feel this way, but thank you. You don't get to tell me that shit wasn't racist, because it was. Like, I yes, exactly. Like, these wounds did not heal. And like, I've been spending, and a lot of us have been spending time trying to like love ourselves all of our lives, right? And then all of this has gone down. We're having a whole ass revolution. But the problem is, like, the revolution seems to be coming very much the white savior again. And I don't want to be a dick. I really don't. But it feels like that's what it's turning into, where it looks a lot like these people are just like, I am responsible. And I'm like, get the fuck out of here with your I am responsible.
Yes, it's the I am responsible video. Exactly.
And honestly, like, even the comments that I got back on the video that I did about that, there's a lot of really fucking weird people out there, man.
There really are.
Yeah.
Really fucking weird. And it's like, okay. I'm like, but stuff like that, and the like whatabouters, and I'm just like, no, just shut up.
Like, I come from a single parent family. I've had to be an adult since as long as I can remember.
Yeah.
Like, as long, like, I didn't really get to like be able to like be a kid, because my mom's military, so there was a lot of things that would happen, or her getting, oh my god, her getting, I'm sorry, I looked at the TV, there's a whole ass pregnant belly, and I was not expecting that. But honestly, all of this stuff kind of kept going on, but it's very frustrating, and I get tired. And right now I'm at a level where I'm just like, listen, I don't really want to keep doing it. And one of the things that you even see, like on my social media is retweets and a lot of TikToks. If it's not funny, if it doesn't make me laugh when talking about it, but like also uncomfortable, it like makes me uncomfortably laugh, then I'm not reposting it. But like that's the kind of stuff that I have the time. Because if I say something, I'm gonna get out of pocket with people real fast. I'll start naming people's names. It ain't gonna be good for me. So I'd rather just send you guys some TikToks on Instagram. Thank you. Have a good day.
Well, and
I would say, Keisha,
like, too, though, it's just
go
like,
ahead, Karen.
Sorry, no, I'm just saying, like, it took you until now to realize that this is a problem. Like, now is the time where you're going to draw the line. Like, you're only doing it because it's quote unquote trendy. Like, fuck off with that. Like, just fuck off. And also, if you can't commit yourself to memorizing 10 fucking words, go eat a dick. Like, that's all there is to it. You're a fucking actress, for God's sake. You get paid to memorize shit. Go fuck yourself.
And they're just like,
I wasn't even mad. Honestly, like, that video didn't even stir me up because I'm like, yeah, it's some rich, delusional pieces of shit. I don't care. I don't want to give them my attention.
It turned out in the opposite than the intended way. I was just like, fuck you. Like, and maybe
they ain't even open their wallet.
But I was like, it just
they ain't even opening their wallets. They're just sitting there reading some dumbass script, looking around, and I'm just like, I hate y'all so much. Like, I hate all of y'all. Just shut the fuck up. Open your wallet. Nobody wants to hear from you. We don't want your PSA. I want you to donate some fucking money. I want you to look at all these people who are unemployed, and I want you to help them to be able to make it through the rest of this fucking year. All of y'all have more than enough money to like. Yeah, I'm like, you have more than enough money to just be dropping 20 grand, like literally 5 people, 100 grand. You could just drop, you could bless them 20 grand. Then they'd be set and they wouldn't have to stress anymore about what's going to happen when unemployment ends. Like, please do that. And Bethany, I do know every person is not performative. I know that. And
I was not saying, I was like, no. The thing is that people know when you're performative and you know when you're performative.
Yeah.
Assholes know when they're assholes. I'm so tired of this. Like, I had no idea. I didn't know. I so innocent. Poor me. It's just like, this is what I'm saying, Keisha. It's like the celebrity pandering. I was like, this is bullshit, but I don't care. But the day-to-day,
and he makes the point as well. Like, these guys couldn't even get off book for this, and that's just it. Like that.
Exactly.
Like, can you imagine? Like, you get the script, and you're like, you're sitting there, and you're like,
honest to God.
Okay, let me make sure that I look properly upset.
That was
like, did the script just arrive 2 minutes prior to film?
It did, because they were like, oh, we need you to film this. It went like this, like, we need you to film this, and they're like, oh. I am responsible.
Like, I am lying. Like, fuck you.
For every
line.
Whoa, what do I pay you for? Like,
honest to God.
Oh, Megs, I could talk about this.
Yeah, we've been going off. Like, Tina's been going off on Twitter with me. Like, we've been like all these people just sitting there like full face of black-owned brands, Fenty and Pat McGrath. And I'm like,
okay.
Fenty owned by Kendo.
And but also if you go on YouTube and you search Black Beauty tag, you will find a tag that was started by two very white women, and both of whom basically only used Fenty and Pat McGrath in their video. Maybe like a Minted or something else. And it's just
sorry, my son farted. I apologize. Oh God.
I just wonder, because they're not creators I pay a damn bit of attention to. I truly wonder how long this is gonna last.
I mean, it's just weird. And then, like, she had said, like, and a few other people,
black-owned makeup brands.
When we come and we say things like we've been saying, because I found some old ass video that I did where I was like, where I said the very same things I'm saying now. I'm like, if they ain't gonna make it for me, I don't need to buy it. And I said that in like 2017, 2018, 2019. I've been saying it like every year. Like, they ain't gonna make it for me. I ain't gonna buy it. Fuck them. Because I retracted basically my outrage over Tarte when they came. Remember that whole Tarte mess? I retracted my outrage. I said, you know what? They can do what the fuck they want to because I don't have to buy the shit. It's fine. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm like, it's fine. Like women, you know, if a woman says it's fine, it's not fine. It's true. It's fine.
Amy did do one with black-owned indie makeup brands. And
but she has been using
obviously,
them.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I'm literally a white woman talking on the internet, so y'all can tell me to shut up. But it's like, I think there's a difference between pulling out brands you've had and just buying a whole bunch of new shit because.
Yes. Because the thing is, the ones who are pulling out the brands that they have, it's all like what would be considered more luxury or higher end makeup, right? So it's Pat McGrath and Fenty. They haven't even bothered to delve into Colored Rain, Mented, JD Glow, Danessa Myricks, who I keep wanting to.
I didn't know that Ace Beauty was black owned, but I love their stuff.
Yeah, so like all of these other brands that existed, Juvia's Place, which I know people feel some kind of way about sometimes, but it is what it is. Mm-hmm. But like, here's the thing: if people are going to keep standing Jeffree Star, I'm gonna keep my Juvia's Place. Leave me alone. But the point is, all of these other brands that they could have also showcased, they didn't because they have no fucking clue. They didn't even know that those brands existed. Yeah. They're just like they don't know. They don't know. So they started a black beauty tag, and it's like, okay, with your cheap brands. Like,
right.
All right.
Yeah. I think one of the two videos there was like 3 brands. It was like Mented, Pat, and Fenty. Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, okay, but
and I don't like
felt so many levels of wrong.
Do either of you know if Violet Voss is black owned?
I don't. I'd have to look at that.
I don't know.
Yeah. It's also respectability politics. There's a certain price tag that makes it okay to buy black, whereas the mid-tier and inexpensive brands are not worth supporting. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
There seems to be this like misconception that some of these black-owned brands are like less than.
Yeah. Well, because
it's called because of racism.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because this is exactly what we talk about, right? Because like, if you look at like a Tarte, right? Like if Tarte has a scandal, if Benefit has a scandal, whatever, like people kind of comment on it and then they'll be like, it is like, and then they'll keep buying it. If the same little bitch ass scandal happens to a black owned brand, like we saw what happened with Juvia's Place. For those of you that don't know, the whole thing was that Jeffree Star he bought a bunch of the shit. He gave it good ratings and Juvia's Place put him on the website and like all this shit. We're like, yay, you know, okay. I get it. We know who he is. Let's not even like act like we don't. But there's still a brand that's making money. And he has a gazillion people that subscribe to him. Just by being able to get like an approval from a giant piece of shit, which does suck, but they knew how to make their money. You can't expect me to turn around and be like, oh, I'm not buying from them because da 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 da. And I'm like, okay, but wait, I don't have like a gazillion and one options. Number one, that's a big thing. I don't have a gazillion and one options on who to buy from because I don't get to choose because the brands don't all carry my shade. They don't carry I'm dark. I'm a dark bitch. I'm getting darker every time I go out in the sun and walk this damn dog. I'm dark. All right. So like, I cannot sit here. Ooh, that pisses me off so bad, T. Yeah. If you knew how many, I've been saying it. I've been like Emily in our late night chats. I'm like, cute to see these motherfuckers be asking Pat to drop her prices, but don't nobody ask anybody else to drop theirs.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't ever see anybody be like, oh, I'd like to have this cremated palette, but it'd be nicer if it was cheaper. I'd like it if this Tom Ford palette was cheaper. Tom Ford needs to drop his prices. I'm like, who says? It's like we put luxury and whiteness and that's it. And like Pat had dared to enter that realm and we're like, look, everybody's just looking at her like she's supposed to drop the price. Like, you know what? If you want to be cheaper, you can get it on Afterpay. So sorry. That's the plan.
Yeah.
Because y'all weren't giving a fuck about spending,
$225.
Like
it's the only option available. Like, If you don't have the coin or don't want to spend the coin on Pat McGrath, then spend it on something else. But it doesn't mean that it's like she's not the only Black-owned company out there.
No.
Yeah.
But also, not every Black drugstore brand, not every Black makeup brand in the drugstore is Black-owned.
Correct.
So
that's a fun fact.
Don't just go by like, what was it, Black Radiance? Because Tina also talked about this on Twitter about like the first round of Black-owned makeup brand videos from like years ago, and people were buying like Black Radiance and all these brands with no research.
Hey,
it's just
Karen.
like how Give Me Glow. Oh, hey Karen. How Give Me Glow kept getting mixed up with JD Glow, and people were saying Give Me Glow is Black-owned. And it's like, no, JD Glow is Black-owned. Give Me Glow is not.
And that's the thing. And like, and I expressed this, I was like, as a Black creator, it was so difficult to, as I started getting more and more into like finding fun makeup and all this kind of stuff, it did become a little bit difficult to buy the Black-owned brands that I wanted to buy, because I started to feel like, oh, I need to like buy the thing that's like hip and cool or whatever. I'm finished with it. Like, I'm going to buy the shit I want to buy. I'm watching the way these brands move. I'm not buying from these like weak ass motherfuckers be like, we support Black Lives Matter, but we have no Black people. Leave us alone. Buy our shit. I'm not doing that. And I'm not going to
keep... like what Elise is saying. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just not. I'm only keeping, listen, by the time Juneteenth comes around, which is what, tomorrow? I'm like, oh my God, today is the 16th. I'm like, is it today? I'm like, where's today? I'm always like fucked up on the dates, but by the time Juneteenth comes around, I'm going to have myself a nice little list, and I'm just going to keep that list. And it doesn't matter who the fuck else has stuff. I'm going to be like, so sorry if you haven't been moving right, I ain't buying it. And then, one thing I'm not going to feature there, like, even if I have products from them, I'm not going to feature them. I'm not going to link them. Done. They're not going to keep getting money off of my back and not represent me. You're not going to get the Black dollar, but hate the Black face. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, words are literally lip service. It's the actions. And that's why I'd be interested to see what some of these brands do 6 months from now. The brands that are all posting about Black Lives Matter and whatnot now, are you going to carry it through? Are you going to make improvements? Are you going to do what you say you're going to do? I want to see how it looks 6 months from now, a year from now.
Exactly. Because this came up over a YouTube video, and me and Emily were talking about it late last night. And my whole thing when I started to talk about this was like, well, I think the reason I don't really enjoy this YouTuber's content and why I stopped watching them is because I consistently saw them complain about like shade range and this kind of stuff, but they never stopped using products. They never stopped using the brand. They never stopped talking about the brand. So I was like, well, why the fuck did you say anything? You should have just like not said a goddamn, like, don't say a fucking word. Like, I'd rather you be silent than say like, well, the shade range is trash and I hope that they like expand it. Like, no, get the fuck out of my face. Like, even if they did expand it, doesn't matter. They didn't do it at the first, like, the point of inclusivity is not that you release the white shades and then decide to release the Black shades. The point of inclusivity is that you release everything so everybody has an opportunity to try it, because it is very exclusionary if a new product comes out, a new foundation comes out, and it's only in like 9 shades of beige. I can never try that. Like, I can never have that to, like, I will not be able to review that. And by the time I can review it for dark people, like, nobody's gonna care. That's old.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not a new product anymore. Yeah, seeing people that are like, I mean, it's just really it's so messed up that like they only released 7 shades, but like, doesn't it look so great on my skin?
Yeah. They said, I mean, like, it's great on my skin and it fits well. I'm like, bitch, I can't buy it. Like, I don't know if you and your like 3 million subscribers know that I cannot buy this. So I don't care if it looks nice on your skin. I don't care if it like, because I'm not gonna buy it anyway. By the time they make it for me, like, boo-boo, I don't think you understand. We Black people spend a lot of money on beauty. We spend a lot of money on high-end luxury because the lower end doesn't give a fuck about us. So we spend a lot of money on high-end beauty, and like, people just don't know. Like, we've been in these streets buying like expensive ass makeup for days, and nobody, like, they don't even pay attention. They're like,
I feel like the cosmetics industry, like in terms of their shade selections, they treat darker skinned people the way that clothing brands treat fat people.
Yes.
Somehow think that our dollars aren't as valuable as other people's dollars.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like,
yeah,
just because I'm a larger size doesn't mean I don't want good clothes. I will pay for that. If I have a darker skin tone, I will pay for your foundation. Just make one that includes me. Like, it's not that difficult.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's still protests going on. Like there's still like, that's the thing is like that narrative, that's not over. Like, I don't think people understand, like, this is not done. The protests are not finished.
Mm-hmm.
People are still fighting. People are still trying to like get to a point of equality. The country is still kind of like still burning. And there's no end in sight at this point. And fuck the system, fight the system because I'm
here
tired.
For it, says the Canadian.
Yeah. Right? Like,
still
burn it all down.
My country to the ground. Like, no, but like it shouldn't be like a one weekend festival. It's not fucking Coachella. That's not like, this isn't a social gathering. It is a protest against a systemic thing that's been in place for centuries. Literally, it's not going to be dismantled in a weekend.
Yes, Peppy. Right there, girl.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they apologize. Exactly.
Like, hi.
Oh, and that too. It's not challenging to find out if a brand is shitty anymore.
They usually wear it right up there on their sleeve. Like, they don't even try to hide it.
Listen, the amount of Black people I know that regularly drop, like, they'll be like, oh, it's Black owned. Oh, cool. $275 later, they done bought almost the entire line.
Mm-hmm.
Sight unseen. They've never tried it. They've never, it's never touched their face. Like, I've done that multiple times. And like, and I'm just like, you guys don't understand. Like, Uma Beauty came out, Fenty came out. I did not care. I spent like $100 and some odd at Uma Beauty. I spent $100 some odd at Denise. And meanwhile, like, if I'm buying something else, I have to like look at it and like, I don't know, $54. I don't know. But as soon as you tell me that like it's Black owned and I see her face, I'm like, oh, I got you. Let me buy all your shit. It's that easy for me because I'm like, you already know, you already care, you are already right here. I got you. You know what I mean? So like, I'm not gonna keep acting like I'm not, like I don't have the money to do those kinds of things. I mean, if things keep going the way they are and I don't get a job, I might not. But for now, I do. So fuck off. I'm buying it.
That's interesting that the co-founder of the Lip Bar created an initiative to buy Black as much as possible all the time. Mm-hmm. That's awesome.
Yeah. And Keisha, yes.
Yeah. That too. Oh yeah, uncomfortable conversations shouldn't stop. Action shouldn't be stopping. And that's going to be the hard part. It's keeping up that momentum.
Yeah, because y'all heard me say that they're afraid all the Black people aren't coming back to work. You know what I mean? Like, they're having all the meetings, being like, "How do you feel as a Black person in our workplace?" You're like shit,
right?
I mean, I'm sorry. Did you want me to?
You got to sprinkle some sugar on top of that.
I cannot.
You got to care for the white fragility.
Listen, listen. I'm getting more and more like angsty as I am home because like basically YouTube is my full-time job. So
I remember that video. Alex asks, does anybody remember Stephanie Nicole's video where she talked about shelf space in stores? I got the vibe she was excusing lack of inclusivity and availability in foundation ranges because you can't fit it all and there's only so much room.
Well, like, novel concept then. Maybe leave some of the like more popular / whiter shades off of the shelf and cater towards darker skinned people. Like, that's an option.
Well, that's an option. They just now started being like, oh, we'll stop locking up the Black products at like Walmarts and shit. Like,
well, it's like it's not.
And like, I'm like, sir, you didn't need to lock it up. You didn't. They're Korean stores. We were going to the Korean hair store any motherfucking way, sir. Thank you very much for playing. Nobody's coming to Walmart for our Black hair products. Eat a dick. Dark and lovely ain't it.
But it's not like it's the alphabet or something. Like, if you don't start at shade 0, people are still going to figure out what the fuck's going on. So start at a darker shade and go towards the other end of the spectrum. That is an option that's available. Brands don't do it because, spoiler, they don't give a shit. There it is.
Yeah, and even with Pure, their 100 shades weren't in. I didn't see them
they
in
put like 20 shades in a store.
Yeah. And then like when Tracy said that, I was like, girl, we don't go there. We did I'm not going to CVS to, but listen, as soon as they started locking that shit up, we were like, nah, it's cool. We don't need to shop here. And and they just don't understand. They don't get they're losing the money. Literally, I go to CVS if I have to. If that's the only place that's open, then I'll go to CVS.
We don't have
I would
CVS
rather
not. I assume it's a Shoppers Drug Mart. I assume
it's a drugstore. Yeah, any kind of drugstore thing.
It's just so stupid. I just they don't lock that shit up here. I don't understand why would they? Why are they? Okay,
the implication is that black people are stealing it.
Oh,
that they're coming and stealing their black.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we're going into most of the ones in Texas are owned by Koreans. I don't know how it is everywhere else, but most of the black beauty stores in Texas are owned by Koreans. You go to the Korean beauty store. All right. I don't give a fuck about CVS. I'm not going there. Why? They don't have any weave. They don't have anything. They don't have anything. They don't have any of my awesome fucking hair gel. They don't have any of the shit I need. No, so I just go anywhere else.
And I want to say, so Karen in the chat asked me if I talked about a post that I shared on my stories today. So basically, I shared a post that was talking about how somebody else was talking about how they were cruelty free and they've made the decision to basically stop being strictly cruelty free to shop more inclusive and shop more black owned brands. And I had been trying for a while to be a little bit more focused on buying cruelty free, just because I thought, if I can, why not? But then I realized, for me, it's been been a progress. 2 years ago, I was like, yeah, I'm going to try to do this. And then within a year of that, I was like, there's so many other bigger issues within the beauty industry. And so Pat McGrath is technically not cruelty free because it's sold in mainland China. I don't care anymore because I'm more focused on, and I think a lot of people are more focused on oh, do you actually include black people in your marketing? Do you actually make products for black people? Do you put in the work? I currently don't care if it's cruelty free.
Well, cruelty free is a luxury. Cruelty free is a luxury, and I have to say that because listen, do I want it to be cruel to animals? Fuck no, I don't. I do not want to do that. But at the same time, in America, we have the luxury of being able to do that. And we don't actually think about the reasons why countries require that. And it's because back alley dudes can just be making cosmetics and selling it on their fucking streets. That's why it's a requirement for brands to do it in China. That's one of the reasons. Because some dude can just be making some shit in a corner and be like, here, it's makeup. And this basically, this is their preventative measure, which is nope, in order for you to sell it here, you have to do this, 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 and this. So it's very easy for us to sit here on our American throne being like, I don't want this thing, that. Because we take a lot of shit for granted in this country. We just don't think about it. Yeah, cruelty free, but you eat cows. And that's the thing. Yeah. I still eat meat. I try to choose the most friendly sourced meat that I can. That's kind. And that the animals get to live a good life because my teeth were made for meat. That's how I feel about it. My teeth were made for meat. But I'm not gonna sit here and be above everybody. I can't do it. I can't. My realities is I don't live there, Tiffany. And so that is it. Night, Tiffany. Thank you for hanging. So I can't be in that mindset.
And clean beauty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our daily
Tracy, I think it's different to lock up medicine than it is to lock up.
Well, that particular medication is used in making methamphetamine, so that's why it's locked up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Doesn't stop them from making it, but
just makes it harder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, and Raw Paint has a great video on nuances of cruelty free. But I think it's the fact that people are just oh, animals are more important than other human beings, and I'm
yeah, it's such a weird concept to have. It really is. It actually comes all the way back full circle to how we treat people. When you look at the whole Amy Cooper thing, the amount of comments that were about her choking that dog versus her weaponizing the police against a black man were just I was really, y'all gonna?
Yep.
The people were oh my God, that poor dog, she's choking him. She's choking. And I'm
justice for Fido. Yeah.
But like, she's basically trying to get this man killed. Like,
Thank you.
She's trying to get this man killed.
And then
you're worried about the dog.
When you find out they took the dog, I was like, oh, thank goodness they took the dog. Like, hello. Yeah. And this is what we fight against all the time. That's why I get so upset, because I'm like, this is what we fight against. And that's why to actually full circle it, this is why MLMs are dangerous, because they do target people who are unseen, and it makes you feel like you are seen. And so you get sucked up into this bullshit that really just takes all your money. So at least we full circled that.
I can understand racism, but I draw a line at animal cruelty. Exactly.
Yeah.
Like,
and Alex says it is. The deal is there are countries that we don't really think about their actual market. And China has large counterfeit markets. My understanding is that by requiring the animal testing and having it stamped on the package, that it is harder for counterfeiters to do that. Now, I know that sounds crazy, but like, that's it. It's like your driver's license, where they just keep adding more and more weird ass shit to your driver's license, so it's harder for people to recreate it. Same concept. A lot of knockoff shit comes out of China in generally. And then that would basically be able to allow them to know that, like, if it doesn't have the correct reflect or whatever on the packaging, they would know that it's knockoff. They would be able to grab all of it, trace it back, and they're able to take care of it faster in their country. I mean, it still ships to our place, but like.
That's interesting. I actually didn't know that. Yeah, humans treat dogs better than other humans, but dogs treat their caretakers with care regardless.
I know, Rami.
Animals are better than humans, if I'm being honest.
Like, even when I'm mad at them, I'm like, leave me alone. And then I'm like, oh, you got to take shit? All right. Like, and he's just like, I should begrudge you your poop, and yet here you are, begrudging me mine. Yes, exactly.
Now we have
so the knockout cosmetics are made with sketchy ass material. So that's, as fucked up as that sounds, that's how some people validate doing it.
That's true.
Yeah. And my thing is, I'm not going to make a blanket statement until like all countries have the ability to do these kinds of things. I'm not going to like make a blanket ass statement being like, oh, I'm going to be cruelty free, because like I can't guarantee that I'm going to be that. So it is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's so much nuance to it as well. Sorry,
and unfortunately, being a person on the internet that talks about makeup, if you make a statement like that, you're going to get much more harshly judged than if you just decide to buy, let's say you've decided, I'm going to try to shop cruelty free when I can.
Yeah.
Okay. But you don't make a statement about it, but it's not like impactful. It's like, yeah, it's not, maybe it's not impactful, but you're not also going to get like roasted for buying a $3 lip gloss that's not
or like, God forbid, a company changes their position, like NARS or whatever, and then you happen to use NARS, and then people are like, but they're not cruelty free. I'm like, but they were when I bought it. Like, it just, there's no winning.
Like, the reality is not cruel. Like, something that isn't cruelty free doesn't necessarily mean it was tested on an animal. It could just be the byproduct of animal, which to some would be not cruelty free, like snail, like that snail thing, the snails from Korea.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try it, but
like, that has the word snail in it, I just can't. It
really does upset me. Like, my whole sense.
I can't even do ones that have mushroom in the title. I'm just like, no, I just can't do it.
Because I mean, even Thorne said this earlier. It's like it gets tricky because a lot of brands, their raw materials could be tested by animals, but they didn't know that, or they haven't done the research. So they're saying they're cruelty free, but you don't necessarily know if it goes from the source being cruelty free. So it's like, yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot like how people think fragrance free, and then they smell it and they're like, it has a smell. I'm like, no, they meant they didn't add fragrance.
They didn't add anything.
They didn't add anything. It's fragrance free, and that they didn't add it. Like, they didn't mean it has no smell. Like,
and Alex said, for folks that are interested in cruelty-free topic, Logical Harmony did a few posts on our IG to highlight Black-owned brands that are also cruelty-free. Here's the thing:
Yeah.
if you buy indie, it's most likely cruelty-free anyway.
Yeah.
So, just letting you know. I know for you, Kara, it's different. It's harder because you're in Canada, not the U.S. But yeah.
Yeah, well, it's just the shipping is like astronomical for us, but.
I mean, here's the thing, Thorn, and like, you say that, but like, listen, these two have to deal with me virtually every morning doing my good morning to my bugs on my patio. Like, I'm like, oh, good morning, Yellow Jackets. How y'all doing? Look at them sleeping up there.
She has a shower spider. Like, she's done everything but name the damn thing. I'm like, no.
No, he was named. His name was Henry, and he moved, so it's fine. But now I have a porch spider, so he's like, he's cool. Yeah, and I have mud daubers that are leaving me like grasshopper carcasses. It's kind, but like,
I'm not that into bugs, so I don't really care about like the Carmine thing. But that's but I do like spiders. I know Kara doesn't like spiders, but
I can't deal with spiders. I know
Kara.
They eat other bugs and all that, but they have far too many eggs, legs, and eyes, and I just can't.
Some of them have paws.
No, and some of them jump, and that's just like a whole level of bullshit that I don't need to deal with. I'm not dealing with jumping spiders. No.
Listen, like
you have friendly yellow jackets or yellow jackets that don't sting you, which I didn't know existed.
I know you're talking about yellow jackets,
like
they're like Mr. Rogers. The yellow jackets up here in Canada, they will fuck your shit up.
Yeah, but also like I'm witchy.
Okay, well,
so like I'm Wiccan as fuck, so like that might be. Yeah. Like they don't even come down. Like they don't even come fuck with me.
Oh, they're brutal.
And then if they do, I look at them like, we had an agreement. Don't make me call the office. And they're like,
no, the yellow jackets here in Canada, they're like, I see that you're minding your own business, but I'm going to sting your ass regardless. Okay, strap in.
So those are Texas wasps. Those Texas wasps are fucking assholes, and they sting you just no reason. They're like,
I don't fuck with anything with a stinger. They win.
Hornets and yellow jackets for base.
They win. I will move. They can have the house. It's fine. I can't. That's like this whole idea of murder hornets. I'm like, nope. I'm gonna just nope right out of that because nope.
This is why I like the spider friends. If the spiders eat the mosquitoes, spiders are welcome here, because mosquitoes are the bane of my existence.
I know. I just bought a mosquito jacket because I do stupid shit like go outside where the mosquitoes live. So I need a jacket.
That's terrible.
I'm
like, that's terrible.
Elizabeth one time crossed the street and a hornet zoomed after me, and then T said, I have done this too.
Horseflies can go fuck themselves as well. And those stupid deer flies that orbit your head, no thank you.
It's just so weird. Like I literally tell them to get out of my. I'm like a fly. Just a few hours ago, he came in. I was like, bro, you cannot live in here. And he just left.
Sophie, I'm with you. I'm horrified of spiders. Like I'm horrified of them. It's because a nest descended upon me once upon a time, and I've been scarred for life ever since.
See, it's so weird because I don't know. I've always been able to communicate with listen. When I worked at Chewy, there were a bunch of people around me. Like not a bunch. There were like 3 or 4 people. She watched me do this. There was a spider, and I was like, "Bro, you can't fucking stay here. I need you to I had my name badge, my ID badge. I was like, I need you to crawl up on this thing so I can get you the fuck out of here." He crawled up on it, and she looked at me like I was a fucking wizard. She was like, because I said that, he wasn't getting on it, and then I told him, I was like, "Bro, you can't stay here. They're gonna fucking kill you. Crawl up on this thing." And then he crawled up, and she was like. And she was like, "How did you do that?" I'm like, "I don't know. It's just a thing I have." And I just took him and let him outside. That's always been my I'm very natural.
So anything with a stinger, yeah.
I mean,
I
that
can't
sounds unpleasant.
I stood on a bee once, got stung, was hopping around, and then stood on another one with the leg I was hopping on, so I got stung on both feet. It's just a whole. I don't go barefoot for shit in the summer. I'm terrified of them. I have them land on my back, I turn my head, I get stung. I can't. They need to agree to live in my house.
Been stung.
I got stung by a bee, and I felt terrible for the bee because I knew he died. And
Oh no,
I
see,
didn't
that's
mean for him to
karma.
die.
That's just karma. That's okay. That's
They
they
don't
know
want
they're
to
gonna die.
sting you.
He chose to sting me.
Bees, I'm not bothered by, but I'm telling you, you're special, Audra, because anytime I've tried to tell Yellow Jacket, hey, we have an agreement, they're just like, fuck you. I run away.
And that's the thing. She's actually seen it when I'm like, hey, we had an agreement. All right, we're cool now. Anyways, and I'll just be like going back to talking.
No, I'm so terrified of spiders. I literally saw one in the dark. Like, I saw it on our ceiling in our bedroom in the dark. Barry's like, you're fucking insane. There's no spider there. I'm like, oh, really? Turn the light on. He turned the light on. There was a fucking spider above our bed. I was like, I fucking told you. Oh, God.
That sounds so unpleasant. Stung in the tongue? Oh,
Wow.
No. See? Like, they just, no.
Listen.
So I will not drink pop outside.
He was
Welcome,
scared.
Daisy.
Oh, hi, Daisy.
Ooh, Daisy.
We're in the bug talk part of the night.
No, I
We
can't.
were talking about cruelty-free and Carmine, and I said I don't care about crushed beetles, and then thus the bug talk began.
Yeah, see, I won't drink anything with any sort of sugar in it outside during the summer for the exact reason that the bees hide in it, and then they're just like right there in your face. No.
Okay, that's pretty good. I need my answers. The one
I love that you're willing to sacrifice
him.
It's a blood sport,
and he emerged victorious.
Well, I did that once. We were hearing a sound on our roof, like on the roof, and I was like, "You better go investigate what that is." And it was like dead ass middle of the night. He's like, "What if it's somebody walking on our roof and they're going to kill me?" I'm like, "Well, better you than me. Go check it out, please." It was a raccoon. It was no big deal, but like. I was like, this is your job. Go look.
Yeah, because there's literally a whole house of yellow jackets like in my corner. I'm like, ugh. And I've told them I'm gonna have to have another conversation with them because I'm like, yo, you can't build more than one little hut out here, and so I'm gonna have to take down.
What is the Sebastian bee? I need to look that up.
Yeah, I couldn't find
it
anything.
Sebastian
I just tried
Bach?
to Google it.
I just pictured Sebastian the little crab.
Wait, what? That's what they are? Wait. Nasty, huge burrowing things that used to infest when I was little. They disappeared from here.
I'm trying to Google it, but it just keeps coming up with people on Facebook. I don't know what Sebastian bee is.
I don't want bees to disappear because honey literally makes the world go round. But also, I don't burrowing.
What the fuck is this? I cannot figure. Google is betraying me. What?
Yeah, no.
Ugh. No. Yeah, like the little fuzzy ass bees, I'm cool with them. They do the thing. They carry the pollen. I'm okay with that. As far as I know, they don't sting. But yeah.
Exactly. I'm trying but we need them to live, and their vomit is delicious. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Ground bees?
I'm not good with any winged creature, to be honest. Even dragonflies, I know they're not going to hurt me, but the big ones that come zooming at you, I'm just like, please don't bump into me. I just I'm not going to bump into you. You don't need to bump into me. There can be a mutual respect. I love bee barf in my teeth. It's hilarious. Oh my god.
I wonder if there's a honey brand out there named bee barf. I don't actually love honey. It's grown on me over the years, but it's not my fave.
I like it in other stuff. I make protein balls with it, but I don't just sit there and eat honey. Eat bees and their vomit is delicious. Yeah, dragonflies, they just kind of freak me out. I like them, but I like them from a distance. I don't like when they come near me. From afar, and I'm good. Same with those friggin' June bugs. Jesus Christ. And they're weaponized. They're so big, and they've got like a suit of armor. I don't like it. What? Oh. PT.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, that's cool.
Our daily broad, our friend has a beehives. They're making mead.
Ground bees. Yeah, we had a skunk get into our garden, and they dug up some sort of underground hive of something. And I was like, well, I never needed to know that was there because now I'm fucking terrified to exit my house. Big fan.
Oh, this is true. Local honey, fancier local honeys, are the shit compared to what a lot of grocery stores sell.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to grab my midnight snack.
Yeah, no, thank you. Yeah, my dog killed a mouse the other day, and I was very upset about it. We were on a walk, and I thought she had a bug, but she had a mouse, and she killed it. And she's like, "Look what I brought for you." And I'm like, "I don't want that offering, thank you. I don't like it." I don't like.
Bo doesn't kill anything.
I didn't realize that a dog would do that, but there she was, mouse in mouth, and I was like, "Oh Jesus, Luna, please no."
Yeah, dogs will destroy a lot of stuff.
Ugh. Well, because I have 2 cats, and my cats are just like, they don't fucking care. Well, Bo will kill bees, or Bo, that's your dog. I had a cat named Bo. Patches. You couldn't shoot because, oh God. Yeah, Patches has killed a bee in my house before, so he gets a.
Thorn, there's like a whole photo series of that, like dogs who ate bees, and they got like puffy ass mouths.
No.
Bo doesn't fuck with it. He doesn't even like it when the flies bite him. He's like, "What the fuck?" Because he's a house bitch. Like he don't fuck with the outdoors. I mean, he got inside my house and like.
This is a great tip from Poliana. If you have seasonal allergies, eating honey from a local farmer is a cure. Local honey because it has pollen from your area, and that will help.
See, I would believe that over buy this essential oil.
Yep. I love that. Cats bring us animals because they never see us hunting for our food. They think we
suck. You're a weak ass human. Have this here dead mouse.
You know, a house cat is more deadly than like a lion or any of those. They're more deadly.
Well,
they're
not my fat cat, but potentially.
Well, their kill rate's higher. That's why. They tend to kill like a larger percentage of what they catch than like lions do, or cheetahs, or any of them.
Yeah.
Well, I get okay.
Watch a lot of nature
proportionality thing here. I mean, my cat's not going to be chasing down a gazelle anytime soon. But a half dead bee, come like September, he's all over that. Eating a bee. Oh Jesus.
I'm sorry, I'm eating my midnight snack like you.
Oh, I just ate my whole dinner on camera. It's all good.
You're all good. There's so many good honeys out there. Manuka honey is great, and honey can be good for your skin. I think Emily Original has talked about how she'll just put straight honey on her face as a mask.
Isn't that a thing too? Like bee venom, people like will inject that into themselves for like MS or something. I'm not sure, or is it like some sort of?
There's a lot of weird, like there's a lot of good properties that bees have, and we need to stop like killing them. That's why I got the plants I got, because they bring butterflies and bees.
Wait.
My
cat is large enough to cover my entire upper body. He can absolutely take a grown man down.
Thorn's cat also plays piano.
Yes, that cat is so cute. Oh, interesting. So Emily uses straight raw honey for her fungal acne.
And that is why, ladies, drink cranberry juice all year, okay? All year, okay? Just keeps your
I just mixed mine with vodka just to make it
fresh.
Fun.
It doesn't even matter. Like, you're fine. Whatever form you gotta have it in, have it.
Right?
Because your taco will be happy.
I've got a very happy taco today. There we go.
That's so interesting. There's so many things that can do things. Things that can do things, but like honey could do like all these different things.
Yeah, it's crazy, eh? I love saying
bees are very important for our ecosystem. We can't let them get destroyed.
Oh, that's the smaller cat.
Oh shit.
The smaller cat plays piano. The larger cat is too big to fit on top of it.
What do you got over there, Maines?
I've got a domestic inbred. That's Gracie. Cranberry juice. I know cranberry juice.
Oh my gosh. Yes, bees are magic. That's where we have landed at this point in time in the evening. Bees are magic.
Bees are magic.
I am going to suggest that we wrap it up though, because I do.
Yes, because I kind of want to talk to my mans right quick.
Well, I didn't go.
And I know you have work tomorrow, Kara.
I can't cancel people again.
Okay. On that note, if for all of y'all that are still here, if you haven't liked the stream, please like the stream, share it with the friends. Thank you for hanging out with us. And and follow
Avoid
Kara and
MLMs.
Audra on all the things in case you're not already. We'll be back. I don't remember what channel. It's either going to be on Audra or my channel on Thursday. I don't remember which one though. Probably my channel.
I think it's your turn.
Again.
I think it's your turn.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll be back on my channel on Thursday, and I don't know what we're going to be talking about, but everyone's welcome. There's always some nonsense. Thank you for being amazing. Have a great day tomorrow. Take care of yourself. Bye, everybody.
Love you guys.
Pressing the button now.
Chopsticks.
Bye.
Bye.
Deuces.
We press the button.
Y'all are funny.
It's working, but it's not ending.